Spurs in fifth. You see the SPI percentages to finish in the top four at the end of the season. At the moment, Liverpool at 89% and Spurs just 2 points behind them. Nickel first on this. Is it that crucial a game in terms? The big clash of the weekend is definitely at Anfield. Liverpool in third place taking on Spurs in fifth. You see the SPI percentages to finish in the top four at the end of the season. At the moment, Liverpool at 89% and Spurs just 2 points behind them at 61%. That could all change, though, given what might happen at Anfield on Sunday. With a Liverpool win, they would then be 96% to finish in the top four.
Solidified.
A Spurs win would increase their chances by a whopping 30%, apparently, according to the SPI. So let's come to you, Mr. Nickel, first on this. Is it that crucial a game in terms of top four ambitions?
I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. Yes, it's an important game. I'd have to say, though, I'll be absolutely shocked if Liverpool lose this game. I mean, it's 2 years since Liverpool lost against any of the teams in the top six at home. And quite frankly, in these big games, they've pretty much dominated most of them. So I expect that to happen again. I expect Liverpool to do exactly what Spurs did to Manchester United the other day.
I was going to say, even though Spurs are coming off an impressive performance.
Well, that's the question. Can Spurs put a back-to-back performances on, like off the back of that game against Man United, where they were absolutely excellent? They got Eriksen back in the team. He dictated the play. They were okay. They're still missing Alderweireld at the back, but the back four was superb, particularly Jan Vertonghen. Don't think Lucas Moura's going to be involved, but he's part of the plans now. They've got players fit again. If they can put that performance in, they can win the game. But you know, as Stevie mentioned, Liverpool's problems and dropping points haven't really been against the big boys in the division. They've been against the weaker teams.
On the evidence that we have seen from Spurs throughout the course of the season, the answer is very clear. No, they cannot put up another performance back-to-back like they did against Manchester United. That has been the criticism of Spurs this season, is that you see them, you see the potential, you see what they can be, and then they come back to the group. And it just... I don't get the sense that this is a team that can do this on a back-to-back game. And certainly not at Anfield, not with the energy that is created in that stadium. And Liverpool has been dominant there. It just does not feel like Spurs would go into there and do the same things that they did to Manchester United.
Stuart, let's go to you, get your thoughts. Is it that pivotal a game in the race for the top four?
It's a massive game, but I agree with Alejandro about Spurs. They've played brilliantly at times at Wembley, but they lost at Manchester United early in the season. They went to Arsenal and tried to pass Arsenal off the field and got beaten. They were poor that day. They then went to Manchester City and tried to match fire with fire and press them high up the field. They got blown apart that day. So I think Tottenham are a very good side, but against the big sides away from home, they haven't played well enough. And I'm interested to see how they approach it. Are they going to press the ball high up the field? Are they going to try and play out from the back and then be caught on the ball like Liverpool have done at home on many occasions? It's a big game for Pochettino to get his tactics absolutely right.
Well, in fairness to them, on that Man United game, Robbo, Kane was out, and they really struggled without Harry Kane away from home. I agree, though, there have been huge questions of them and these kind of games away from home. That's why we have to be looking to the manager, Pochettino, to see what he's going to do. But let's not forget, and we're going to get to Chelsea, I know, but let's not forget, it isn't a battle between what it looked like it was going to be a battle between Arsenal, Liverpool and Tottenham for that fourth spot, or the top four. And all of a sudden, there's another team in London getting dragged back into it. So for me, that makes it an even bigger game for these two, particularly Tottenham.
Big games mean combined 11s.
Yes.
One of your favourite elements always on FC. Stuart Robson's done the combined Liverpool Spurs 11. What do you make of it?
Oh, I'll tell you one now that Stevie's not having in there. I'm telling you one. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. You put Gomez.
Don't leave us dangling.
Gomez, he loves him.
No. I tell you what, the way Trippier played against Manchester United, there's no way you can have Gomez in there. I mean, Trippier was an absolute nightmare for that left-hand side. And Young, That was his worst game for a long, long time. Young had no idea how to deal with Trippier.
Do you know, for Liverpool been favourites in this game, allegedly?
Yeah.
Robbo ain't got many Liverpool players in this team.
I was going to say, Son over Sané. Would you have that? Son over Sané?
And I don't know if it's Son over Sané, but I would have Firmino involved in this game. And this, too, yeah. He has been outstanding for Liverpool and so important to what they do in the attack. I would have him playing. I don't know who steps up. It would be Son. It wouldn't be Kane. But Firmino would be in that 11.
Is Van Dijk going to play?
Apparently.
Well, they keep chopping and changing. Yeah. I mean, it's got to play, but I mean...
say, of course. Is he? I mean, he didn't play.
He has to play.
Yeah.
What do you mean is he going to play?
Well, Craig,
tell you what,
he didn't play
if you go to the SPI will have 100% Van Dijk plays.
Don't get angry about it.
I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, don't get angry.
It's really weird though. Robbo's got 3 of the back 4 Liverpool players.
Oh, is that a problem?
I'm not quite sure how that happens. I mean, Liverpool defensively, for the majority of the season, I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get.
The Friday newspapers linking him again with the Azzurri. Could he actually go back and manage Italy? Could he leave Chelsea? Boxes on the brink, saying some of the English newspapers. Conte responding in the press conference on Friday, saying, speculation about my future? I don't know why. I have 18 months on my contract at Chelsea, and my will and desire is to fulfill this. Of course, former Italian legend Costa Curta is in charge of recruiting for Italy. On Conte, he said he's had 18 months left on his Chelsea contract and would respect it. We'll see. He is still a candidate, according to Mr. Costa Curta.
Not exactly.
What do you make of it, Craig?
I've not exactly got a conveyor belt in Italy at the moment, particularly not after the back of Ventura being coached, and how bad he was. So the desperation is there, it would seem. I don't see this guy being here next season. I think there's a chance he might not be here at the end of the season. I think he might not even see the last few games of the Premier League season out if they lose to Barcelona over the 2 legs, which I'm presuming at the moment, the way they're playing, they will. I think then there could be some sort of agreement between the club's owners and board and the manager, because he never seems to have been happy in London. Even when they were winning in the league, even when there was a 13-game winning streak, there's always talk about going back to Italy and how he hadn't quite settled and whatnot. So I just see his exit sooner rather than later.
Stuart, what do you make of this constant speculation with Mr. Conte?
Well, I think right at the beginning of the season, it was obvious that Conte didn't want to be there. He's fallen out with the hierarchy. He was unhappy with their transfer policy. He was unhappy with 1 or 2 players. He was unhappy with the way Costa, or he tried to get rid of Costa and eventually did so. And I think he wants to go. And the reason he's put that statement out is to get as much money out of Chelsea as he possibly can. Rather than him walk out, he wants Chelsea to sack him, so he gets a big payoff, and then he might walk into the Italy job. He's on his way out. There's no question about that. And there's troubled times at Chelsea ahead.
This is the big picture as the dust settles at the end of January. The players out, so Giroud, Sanchez, Walcott, Coquelin, Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan, of course, the big arrival.
What about Mavropanos? Nothing for Mavropanos?
We'll see if Stuart can bring him into the play. Stuart, I want to get your assessment as to this January for Arsenal. Is it a step in the right direction?
Well, if you look at Sanchez's goals, Giroud's goal and Walcott's goals that they scored over the last season, there's a lot of goals they've lost there. And Aubameyang is the same sort of player as Lacazette, better than Lacazette. So I think that's a good sign. And Mkhitaryan is better than Iwobi, but he's not as good as Sanchez. I'm not sure it's a great January transfer window for Arsenal, but it could have been worse. I think Aubameyang will play as the main centre forward.
But they kept Mesut Ozil as well, brand new shiny contract. Can they get all those attacking weapons on the pitch is the question, Stuart?
No, they can't. Lacazette won't play, I don't think. Aubameyang is an out-and-out centre-forward, so is Lacazette. You can't play Lacazette elsewhere. But I think it would sum up Arsenal when you've got Ozil and Mkhitaryan playing in behind a main striker. They won't do too much defensive. Yeah, you want them to go and create. So it means they have to have a midfield 3 to protect those players that aren't going to defend. So that means that there won't be a place for Lacazette. And they spent a lot of money on him. Aubameyang was the player they wanted initially in the summer, and they couldn't get him, so they went for Lacazette. But if it was me, I'd have kept Giroud because he scores goals, and I'd have got rid of Lacazette. I'd have taken a hit on him and got rid of him.
Can those 4 players play together? Said no man ever. Come on, you've only got to watch the shambles that was the defeat at Swansea City to realise Arsenal's issues are not trying to shoehorn some attacking quality into the team in certain positions. Their Achilles heel is the backbone of the team, the central midfield, the centre-halves and the full-backs who at times want to push forward. Great, Monreal's been in the goals and on the assists. But how's about just some basic defending? And that's the issue for Arsenal going forward, so you can be excited as you want about these players. When it comes to the crunch, the backbone of their team at the moment is going to crumble.
Now then, Benjamin Mendy has been hanging out in New York City. While he was there, our Alexis Nunes caught up with him. You can see that interview over on ESPNFC.com. Now then, what made the cut? Let's see on the best of the week.
Do you want the rules before we start?
Sure, go ahead.
Right, no mention, in fact, that Jonathan Gonzalez has chosen to play for Mexico.
Here we go.
Now he's going to talk about it, Craig.
No,
I'm not. I'm not going to do it.
You could have sent an army down there to his house. Wouldn't have mattered.
You know
I'm
an
ahead of the-
awful lot
I'm
about
ahead of-
Jonathan
well,
Gonzalez.
I'm ahead of the curve.
Guys, I'm beginning to think that Craig Burley's Jonathan Gonzalez's agent.
I'm only reacting, Ian, to people that can't let it go.
Nobody said anything. You said it first.
Because Seb's mate.
Yes, thanks, man.
That guy over there's mate.
Nothing more humbling when the guy you're working with forgets your name.
So you're the Jonathan, what's his name?
Jonathan Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
The cotoletta alla milanese, which is usually a veal cutlet, breaded.
I'd bet you a dog just so I don't have to listen to Vamos Venezuela! Vamos Venezuela! Vamos Venezuela! Sounds the same.
Stripes make me look a bit fat.
The pocket square. The pocket square is making you look fat.
That bloody pocket spares make me look fat.
I would have said this was 50-50.
No draw.
Well, if it's 50-50, then there's a good possibility it's a draw.
It's 33, 33, 33, isn't it?
Why is that?
Shut up.
That's 99. You take the pace away from Aubameyang. What you got left?
When was having great pace such a big problem in the modern game? Are you saying
people will put
Aubameyang's you saying that because it's a better player than Aubameyang?
Yes.
Oh, Wayne, don't.
Yes, I am. 100%.
Wayne, don't hate him.
100%.
Listen, if
What would a great show be without Shaka's power rankings?
Greater.
How tall are you?
I am exactly 5'9".
I'm 5'9". Come on. No way, 5'9".
It is a Super Bowl weekend edition of ESPN.
Well, this
FC
weekend.
Extra Time this weekend, yeah.
Oh, was it?
Have you noticed no one's here? We're actually the only people in the entire building.
Who's filming then?
It was very easy to park today. It was one of the easiest days ever.
you're suggesting there's...
Everyone's in Minneapolis, except us.
What's going on there?
Minnesota United are starting pre-season.
Well, I tell you what's there, the Patriots are going to get lucky again. According to
Gab.
Marcotti, they just get lucky. And he mentioned another word that I'm not going to use.
Right,
yeah.
That involved,
To do with fortune?
yeah, to do with ball pressure. And,
Right. I can't believe he's not there. You told me he's not in Minneapolis. I thought he'd be there with his green scarf on, roaring the Eagles on.
Perish the thought.
Yeah.
He's gone home. All right.
Going to get beat.
We saw Dortmund play today. We saw Batshuayi score a couple on his debut. Kyle wants to know your thoughts on his loan move to Dortmund and how he performed.
Well, either he never got a chance at Chelsea,
Yeah.
or the Bundesliga is not that great.
And there it is.
Which one is it?
Well, I think let's
Well, that took long.
let's wait a few weeks and see how he does.
Yeah.
You know, everybody gets amped up for their debut. Scored a couple of good goals, yes, but let's give it a wee bit more
They
time.
were the bottom team in the Bundesliga. Cologne, I should point out.
Yeah, but in all fairness to him, you know, I'm not entirely convinced that he's going to be the next great thing, which he was. Some were saying when he was playing in France before he made the move. But he has got an opportunity now to force himself into the Belgium squad to make sure he goes to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And to get some game time. Then we just find out a little bit more.
Let's not forget, and I'm not in any way comparing these two players, but at one point Kevin De Bruyne was a failure in the Premier League, and then he was let go.
Yeah.
became the player that he became, came back to the Premier League a much better player. I'm not saying that that's Batshuayi, but I'm only suggesting that it doesn't fit everybody right away.
And let go from Chelsea,
yes.
no less. Stuart, it was hard to judge Batshuayi in the Premier League. We barely saw him. What do you make of him?
To be able to play well, first of all, you need to be playing, but you also need confidence. And Batshuayi, every time he took the field, you realise that he had no confidence whatsoever. He was almost frightened when the ball came into his feet. He gave it away cheaply. He's a much better player than he showed at Chelsea. I'm sure he'll do quite well at Borussia Dortmund. And then maybe a chance for him to come back to the Premier League and show what he can really do.
There are goals in him somewhere. There were a couple of goals today.
He might not want to come back to the Premier League. Not everybody wants to.
No.
I'm not talking to Robbo here, but I'm just saying, not everybody wants to come back to the Premier League.
No.
Plenty of other leagues out there. Yeah, plenty of places.
About fishes to fry.
Correct.
Yeah. So how come us Espen Tangen, the wages in Mesut Ozil's new contract don't become a big deal like they did with a certain Alexis Sanchez? Of course, we all saw what he signed for this week, the huge amount per week.
Well, I can't speak for the boys, but they weren't a big deal for me. It's just the way it's going, isn't it?
Is it?
It's a reality that has now become the new normal, and we should not be surprised. I mean, look, Virgil van Dijk was signed for whatever amount of money, and now all of the sums of money become ridiculous if you really evaluate them and say to yourself, is this what players are worth nowadays? But that's a new normal.
But specifically the wages, I think it was a big deal with Sanchez, or people made a big deal out of it, what he wanted from Arsenal. They don't seem to have done that with this new contract.
Are you trying to make something out of this?
You know, I think that's the point of this question. I'm not trying to
have you been talking to Espen?
Let's be honest. Ozil didn't want the new contract at Arsenal. He priced himself out of the new contract at Arsenal so that he could get his move. And who would blame him when you see what shape that club are in at the moment? So he priced himself out of Arsenal's window, knowing that he would get his move to a bigger, better, and a club that's advancing quicker.
Stuart?
Potentially.
Stuart, is that the way you see it?
Over the course of time, there's a lot of history of saying that Arsenal do things this way. In my time, it was David O'Leary. Brady had gone, Stapleton had gone. David O'Leary was in the right place at the right time, so they couldn't lose another player. They offered him ridiculous money. It happened with Walcott a few years ago when they lost Nasri and Van Persie. They gave the money to the wrong player. This time, Ozil was in exactly the right position. They couldn't lose two players at the same time, so all the money's gone to Ozil when they could have spent a lot more on Sanchez.
Wow, a thread that goes back to David O'Leary, spending the money in the wrong place. Oh, we'll move on.
Don't look at Stevie.
I was looking at Stevie. I very quickly looked away. Comparisons between Chelsea in 2015-16. Remember, after they won the title and struggled second year under Mourinho, second time around, and this year, are comparisons unfair because Conte still has them in the top four this year, whereas Mourinho, what were they, 10th? 10th under Mourinho. So, are we right to compare these two seasons? The post-championship seasons.
That doesn't make any sense to me, that question.
No? Maybe it's the way I read it.
It must be. So, are you talking about comparing Mourinho and Conte, or are we comparing the actual Chelsea team from...
Well, he's saying it's unfair to compare them, because compare those seasons, because this year at least Conte's still in the top
There's
four.
a lot of comparing going on.
Compare and contrast.
You come up with these questions, by the way.
Thomas Barker came up with
Is this the who's best of the worst?
Yes.
Who's the best
What's
worst?
your question? Ask a question properly.
Compare for me, what's the difference between this year, Conte's team having just won the championship last year, and Mourinho's second time around?
Are we taking in his incapability of reading the tape?
I understand it.
I get it.
Robbo, do you understand it? Is there a comparison to be made?
Not really, but I'll answer some sort of question that you've asked there. It's in Chelsea's DNA. They do well one season, win the title. The players think they can run the club. The owners start to dismiss what the manager's done. It happened with Ancelotti after winning the double. It happened with Mourinho. It's now going to happen with Conte. Conte will be gone by the end of the season. It's part of Chelsea's DNA.
I think this question is briefly. Twice.
Please
do explain.
Is the season after winning the league.
Yeah.
It's unfair to say this one's been as bad as the one under Mourinho, where they finished midway down the table. They were having to deal with legal cases with medical staff. Eden Hazard wasn't playing, looked as if he wasn't bothered.
Why didn't you do that?
I did.
See, he just took 10. He did it. Took him 10 seconds, and I got it straight away.
What
and
are
you
you
had
doing?
2 stabs at it, and still couldn't do it.
Excuse me, what are you doing? He doesn't need the help. Now he's going to want to be the host as well?
Go and swap over.
Hey, we can. Do you want to do the last question? I think you should actually. Rajak, go on, you do it.
There you go.
I'm not doing it.
Come on, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got in your locker.
You need to put the glasses on or no?
Oh, I'd take that one. Rajak, I know.
Rajak.
Right.
If you can call him
Get it up there. To Steve Nicol and others, do Real Madrid have what it takes to win the Champions League this season?
What do you think, Adrian?
He asked that question very well.
No, about the question.
Right. Hey,
Do you understand that?
right, you.
He asked it personally.
Do Real
Yeah,
Madrid?
well, answer.
All right. No, they don't have what it takes.
Craig,
They do
do
not.
Real Madrid, you're looking well. Do they have what it takes?
It's a little thinner, Craig.
No, they are not going to win.
They try to say.
Fights have lost
See
some weight.
how you understood the question straight away? That's how you ask.
Clarity,
That's how
is that
you
what
ask
you're
a
saying?
question.
It's all about clarity.
Stuart Robson, do they have what it takes? Real Madrid.
They've had a bad season, but they've still got a very good side. The manager's obviously under a bit of pressure. They can still win the Champions League. Yes, they can.
Isn't Robbo well dressed tonight?
He looks like Captain Picard, doesn't he?
Who, he does not know who Captain Picard is, by the way.
He doesn't.
He does.
He doesn't.
No? Star
No.
Trek? No Star
You
Trek?
have no idea who that was.
He knows it. You look very dignified with the glasses on, by the way, Craig.
Dignified.
Dignified. Yeah.
That's something he hasn't been called before. He's been called a lot of things, but not dignified.
Look at that. He could be.
Beautiful.
Sorry, I can't sit here with you people. Very unintelligent. They're the wives' glasses. Pink.
No, that's where that's
They're
where
just
the,
reading glasses.
where the dignity comes from.
Right, wrap up.
Yeah. They can't win it, no?
Oh, are we still answering
we're still on
questions?
that,
It's still going.
Hey,
Go on, I'll tell you what, we'll keep going until you get an answer to the first time you ask a question.
Okay.
Do you understand the question?
Which one?
See?
We'll get all 4 questions of ours. It's going to be a quick yes or no.
Oh. Hey, Monday, 1:30 a.m. Eastern. Let's go home. ESPN2.
Somebody's giving you a
Streaming
head.
live on the ESPN app.
Yeah, please do join us.
Go.
More of this.
Pre-match press conference for Arsenal. Arsene Wenger, Ali, had some interesting things to say. I want you to take a look at this full screen. We're going to discuss what he said about the money that is now in football and it's harming competition. So have a look at that quote and tell me what you think of what he said.
There are so many layers to this conversation and to this discussion. And while it is true that there are certain clubs that have the ability to buy players in a way that others don't, it is also true that the 4 leagues that he's talking about are over for different reasons. Real Madrid has the same sort of money that Barcelona does, but Real Madrid is not playing well, and that has nothing to do whether there's a difference in budgets between Real Madrid and Barcelona. So that argument doesn't quite apply to La Liga. In terms of the Premier League, it's hard to get an argument or this quote by Arsene Wenger when this week, in particular, you have gone on and resigned Mesut Ozil, you have brought in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, you have Henrik Mkhitaryan, you have sold Alexis Sanchez, so you are part of this big money transactions as well. So you're not Huddersfield, you see, and so it is very challenging to then sit back and say, well, Arsene, I feel for you, and that I don't think anybody that really evaluates this objectively can get behind Arsene Wenger and say, you know what, poor Arsene, you have no resources. Of course they do. They just haven't spent those resources wisely in the past.
Where I would take issue with Arsene's comments here, it's not as if things have changed since December 2017 to the start of February 2018. This, to me, is kind of like a bit of a self-defense comment. If this had been made at the start, like 5-6 years ago, when he's been since criticised for not spending money on a striker until he got Lacazette and basically doing the opposite of what the fans wanted. Then his point might have been pertinent, but now this just seems a kind of self-preservation comment.
Yeah, the other thing I would say is that, okay, fine, you want to find a solution to this, then give the Premier League a salary cap where everybody can spend the same amount of money. And would he want to be a part of that?
No.
No, because now you put everybody on an even field, and then it becomes a whole lot more difficult to be at the very top where you need to be, where you want to be, and where you're expected to be. So it's easy to just throw these comments out. But okay, then do something about it. And is he going to do something about it? Would Arsenal want a part of a salary cap system? I don't think so.
He is still in place because he is responsible for a cash cow to the owners of Arsenal. Whether or not he does what the fans want or whether he doesn't do what the fans want. The other point I want to make about the Premier League, as you were talking about, Manchester City have got the same amount of money as they had last year, and they couldn't win the Premier League then, and it was Chelsea that won it. Arsenal could have won it when Leicester won it. They could have won it when Chelsea won it. But his stubbornness and his refusal, that's why I don't think there'll be much sympathy for Arsene Wenger about these quotes.
Well, no sympathy here, if you're looking for some.
Nope.
Okay.
Not for me. And if you want some sympathy, you need to go elsewhere, Monsieur Wenger. Arsenal, on the whole, have had a pretty good transfer window. They've got extra...
what's best for Arsenal. Now, if somehow he's not able to sort that out, then you have to be the manager in place that is willing to say, you got to take a seat. You got to come and join me on the bench. I don't know that Arsene Wenger is going to make that big decision. However, let's say I'm Arsene Wenger. I'm given the job to sort this out and to say, how do you fit all these pieces together? I would play Lacazette up high, Aubameyang off of Lacazette, perhaps coming from a wider area, Mkhitaryan just underneath, but with the ability to go in wider areas as well, and then Mesut Ozil just in behind those two. Those three in behind Lacazette with freedom to move in and around certain areas, but with Aubameyang with the ability to stretch defenses, I would have him more in a wider area more times than not. That's what I would do up there. Now, behind them, good luck.
So, is it a 4-4-2 or is it a 4-2-3-1? You've said you'd like Lacazette up with Aubameyang maybe coming in wide. We've seen him play for Dortmund coming in wide. Mkhitaryan's best position is probably as a 10, feeding Aubameyang and Lacazette, and Ozil giving a free role. Now, that's going to place extra importance on Ramsey and either Wilshere or Xhaka. He has recently gone to 4 at the back. I'm not sure how you can then resort back to 3 at the back and fit everyone in that you need to fit in here.
Well, and that's exactly the issue here, is that if you see Granit Xhaka and you go back into the game against Swansea, you pay attention to his lack of awareness defensively and how he does not help his back line, how he doesn't make it back to the top of the 18-yard box in moments in which that's his responsibility, how he doesn't track runs out of the midfield from the other teams. That in itself worries you, because if you're willing to send these numbers forward, then you have to have the security to understand that you have a guy in behind that will cover the ground, that will cover the spacing, and that enjoys defending in those areas. Granit Xhaka is a guy that likes to pass the ball and likes to be good on the ball and all these things. But when it comes to defending, he doesn't quite do the job. So that's why it's a risk. But therefore, you cover Xhaka with a back line, but then who covers the guys that you're sending in the attack? That's where Arsenal may become unbalanced.
They're going to be good to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Middle to front, but they might need to score 2 or 3 goals every game.
Now down to the business of football today. Huddersfield won the first meeting, of course, 2-1 at the John Smith Stadium. That was back in October. Aaron Moy on the bench today, and the man who will lead the line, Lauren Depodja, with the goal scorers. A first win over Manchester United for 65 years when they ended United's unbeaten start to the season. The last time they met here was March 1972, 46 years ago. It was a victory for Manchester United by 2-0 that day. They will expect more today, that is for sure. They were beaten, of course, in midweek against Spurs. They now look to bounce back, and it's Huddersfield who will get us underway, kicking from right to left in the opening 45 minutes here at Old Trafford in their blue and white stripes. United in the traditional red shirts, the white shorts and the black socks, and immediately a long ball forward Chris Smalling has to deal with, and he goes back to David De Gea, who has of course been ever present in the Premier League this season for Manchester United. Franny Benali alongside me, and the start here will be crucial for Huddersfield. The one thing they won't want to do is to concede early.
Most definitely not. No, they'll, team talk in the dressing room would have been very much about, let's just keep it tight, let's keep a clean sheet, don't give anything silly away. We saw Manchester United obviously concede after 11 seconds in the week, and they certainly won't want to be doing that here at Old Trafford today. But Depotre is going to be a key figure for them up front today. Anything coming into him, it's important that he holds the ball up. He's a big physical presence, so it'd be important for the midfielders to get in and around and support him.
McTominay's given that ball away early, and it's well picked up and fed out to this left-hand side, and forward comes Van La Pala, but this has to go back on this occasion. And this near touchline, it's held up nicely by Congolo, back towards the edge of his own penalty area, and Schindler has it forward into that midfield area. Schindler down this left-hand side tries to lift the ball forward into space, chases on here for Depotre, who tries to get the better of Smalling. On this occasion though, Smalling gets it back to De Gea at the edge of his 6-yard box, and United will have a chance to bring it clear. Only Manchester City have taken more Premier League home points this season than United. They've picked up 29 in the campaign, the same amount as Arsenal. As Franny mentioned earlier, they don't tend to suffer back-to-back defeats very often. In fact, it was May at the end of last season when they last lost 2 Premier League games in a row. They were to Tottenham and to Arsenal. Throwing on that far side is for United. It's level with the edge of the Huddersfield penalty area. Down that left-hand side, across goes with his big right boot Tommy Smith to make the clearance and put it into touch. And it will be a throw on that far side again for United. Early pressure here. Luke Shaw will take it. No real tempo at the start of the game. It's very relaxed. 2 minutes in. Shaw, of course, was bigged up a couple of weeks ago by Jose Mourinho in terms of the performances he had offered up while Ashley Young was out suspended, and then he probably dropped him for the game at Burnley and also for the FA Cup tie last weekend. But he's back in today with Young reverting to the bench. It's Valencia who finds McTominay. And here we'll go to Marcus Rojo on that left-hand side. He's back, of course, from injury. He had 7 months out with a knee injury. It's a 6th Premier League start in the last 13 games for the Argentinian centre-half. Towards halfway again, and United just playing keep ball early on here. McTominay inside the centre circle, closed down by Billing with a flock of blonde hair. He certainly stands out, and he looks very physical. He'll be putting himself around the middle of the park today for Huddersfield, that's for sure. But United here, Franny, just happy to keep the ball.
They are, Adam, yeah, and you mentioned that word just a moment ago, tempo is something that Manchester United are very accustomed to, and knowing that they've got to press that, being the home side here at Old Trafford, but they'll know Huddersfield will want to keep things tight, keep the gaps and the spaces really minimal, and a lot of communication is needed from the Huddersfield players to one another to enable them to do that. So Manchester United sort of accustomed to this kind of setup, and it's down to them to set that pace and tempo over the match.
A lot of back to goals, picking up the balls here for United, and now Huddersfield with a chance to break, and it's a ball out wide to that right hand side that was just trying to find the run being made by Tommy Smith. The ball out from under his feet by Huddersfield. It's a throw in on that far side to Manchester United. David Wagner all capped up, of course, as ever, arms folded on the edge of that technical area. There's an opportunity down this near side for Lukaku to try and get in, but it's a decent challenge across that time by Schindler, and into touch for a throw.
Huddersfield with Huddersfield there, when they do win the ball, they cannot give it away sloppily like that. When they're spending long times and periods of the game defending, trying to win the ball back, so when they get it, they've got to try and keep it.
Well, we believe that Huddersfield was probably going to line up as the left wing back, but he seems to have slotted into a bit of a midfield role here. It's an interesting team set up from David Wagner, that's for sure. as that breaks at the edge of the penalty area to Sanchez, so Lingard, and it's from Mata, and it's back to McTominay, and it's 5 yards outside the penalty area. Valencia has it on this right-hand side, into the feet of Mata once more. Now down the line again for Mata, celebrating that new contract with a decent ball in into Lingard, who completely messes up his attempted cross at the byline, and Sanchez just saying to Mata he'd have quite liked that ball a little bit earlier, but it's out for what will be a goal kick to Huddersfield.
Yeah, nice movement from United. It was Mata, Valencia, and the final pass in from Mata into Lingard, and he just as he was in the process of trying to cross the ball on the touchline, little ball out of play.
Well, they've given a corner here, I think, and I think everyone had accepted it was going to be a goal kick, but the referee, who is Stuart Atwell, by the way, let's just throw that out now before we really get going, has given the corner, which Mata will take. Huddersfield weren't happy, and they'll be even more unhappy there, maybe as Rojo puts it in, but it's away by Lepota and then by Billing on towards halfway. He puts some pressure here on Valencia, who's inside the centre circle. I've got the feeling maybe it's Rajiv Van La Parra that's playing as the left wing back, possibly.
Yeah, well, that decision, you can tell from the reaction of the Huddersfield players that, first reaction from us here watching was that it was a goal kick, the ball coming off Lingard, but they've defended that corner well. I'm sure they'll have a few more to defend throughout the course of the game, but yeah, just looking at the setup, Huddersfield, it's a few players playing out of positions that we may not have necessarily thought from the initial lineup.
I'll try and get a handle. I mean, there's the potential there. He's just playing as a 4 actually, but we'll keep a clear focus on that and see what occurs. Here is Lukaku at the edge of the penalty area, gets it through to Mata, who's onside, cuts that across towards Lingard. I think maybe the offside flag was already up against Juan Mata, because Lingard was very casual in his approach to that shot, and it's out of play for what will be a goal kick to Huddersfield. He was well offside, was Juan Mata. Right, goals elsewhere. Let's get straight to the Hawthorns then, our first of the afternoon on a big day there with the celebration for Cyril Regis. Has it started West Brom off well? Michael McCann, your commentator.
It comes towards the far post and in! West Brom have the lead. Ahmed Higazi with the goal, his second Premier League goal of the season, and it could prove oh so important. West Brom 1, Southampton 0.
And a goal also at the Vitality in the game between Bournemouth and Stoke for Andrew Self.
Lifts it in again. Target out, free header, 1-0. Shaqiri, the smallest man inside that Bournemouth penalty area, just drops his header as the cross comes in from his left into Begovic's bottom left-hand corner, and Stoke City, who started on the front foot, have got their rewards in the 5th minute.
Good start for Stoke, not the best for Bournemouth after that win over Chelsea. Here's Jesse Lingard away inside the penalty area, and his shot is saved well by Jonas Lörsel, low down to his left-hand side.
First shot and save for Lörsel to make. Looked dangerous when they broke away. It was Lingard picking up the knockdowns on the edge of the centre circle. He's just raced right into the edge of the 18-yard box, trying to fire back across Lörsel's goal. It's a decent strike. He kept it low, but it's a good save from Lörsel.
You can tell it's not his favourite, that left foot, can't you? He was desperately trying to push it clear onto his right, but Billing did have some legs in him to get back and apply a little bit of pressure and just make it difficult to shoot from Lingard, who had picked that up on halfway. Decent play there between Sanchez, Lingard, and now Mata. Mata's ball in towards Lingard, is headed away from the edge of the penalty area. Lovely bit of build-up play by Manchester United, and a really nice understanding there between Lingard and Sanchez as well. Here is Matic on that far side, far touchline. Mata has it, back to Matic, who's 10 yards inside the Huddersfield half. Here's Alexis Sanchez, cuts through the centre now. Sanchez towards Lukaku, Billing with a good interception. Here's McTominay with the ball out wide to the right hand side. Valencia to the edge of the penalty area. Lukaku back to goal, takes it down, takes a bit of a dig in the process from Schindler. The referee waves play on. Lukaku not happy, and United have it. On that far side, here is Lingard trying to push through, giving it short once more to Lingard again, off of Sanchez, who takes the ball down beautifully. Oh, lovely turn in the middle of the park to get him away from Jonathan Hogg. Sanchez wearing his gloves today on a cold and wet day in Manchester. Here is Matic to Mata again. In the central area is Sanchez, picking it up though is Matic, who helps out Mata because he had lost the ball that time to Hada John I, and then the cross comes in towards Lukaku, but it's over his head, and Congolo will put it into touch on this near side for a throw.
Just having another quick glance at Huddersfield sets up. Looks like they're going with those 3 centre halves, but playing a 5 and then a 4 in front of them, and it's Depoitre. It's just that lone striker in front of them, very much trying to keep it tight defensively. And United are doing well, moving the ball, trying to shift the ball, get the ball into dangerous areas, into Sanchez, into Mata, knocking the ball around quite comfortably in front of Huddersfield on the whole, but they've just got to try and play those passes through the lines a little bit more.
Stack of goals early on. We'll get to the Amex in a moment, where Brighton are taking on West Ham. We've got a free kick here first, though, for Manchester United off the angle of the penalty area on the right hand side. The foul by Van der Padde on Antonio Valencia, and here's an opportunity for the left foot of Juan Mata to set something up here for Manchester United.
Yeah, good opportunity to bring Rojo Smalling up. Mata will whip it in, left footed. Huddersfield just trying to keep a high line on the edge of the 18-yard box, not trying to drop too early. Sanchez has stood almost level with the penalty spot, trying to get the Huddersfield defence back.
Mata swings that one in, headed down by Smalling, and straight at L'Oiseau, and they want the flag up, but Sanchez wasn't interfering would be the answer of the assistant. Smalling got up for the header. Sanchez was well offside at the time the ball was played, but Chris Smalling wasn't, and Huddersfield need to be wary of that.
They certainly do. There was a lot of red shirts running into the box at the time the ball was delivered, so you can see why the Huddersfield defence weren't too happy when the assistant kept his flag down.
Quainer is just knocked off the ball there as he ran towards the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Here's Valencia on the right hand side, knocking the ball through towards Mata. It's over his head though, and L'Oiseau will collect. To the Amex we go. Early goal there for Barry Swain.
Lock up. Always been caught very late there by Cresswell, and here's Murray, and Murray is onside. Glenn Murray scores for Brighton and Hove Albion. The referee done ever so well to keep it going. He could have called it back for the foul on Lockhart, but Glenn Murray was sent sprawling through the middle, and he just shaped himself up, and he rolled it beyond the reach of Adrian and into the corner, and Glenn Murray's at it again.
He is. He wants to like scoring goals against West Ham, does Glenn Murray. Another today, Brighton in front, so as things stand, West Brom, Stoke and Brighton all with priceless goals in the early stages of this afternoon's Premier League games. 12 minutes played here, Manchester United 0, Huddersfield 0. Throwing down this right hand side is with Antonio Valencia, absolutely teaming it down, and has been most of the morning, as Lukaku gets a little flick on despite Congolo having a hand on his shirt. Very deep they're playing here, Huddersfield. A real kind of defensive screen in front of that back line as well. Jorgensen. Here's ball forward by Schindler out to that right hand side. Smith, the former Man City man, takes it in his stride and on the run. Ball is picked up by Hadajanai into Billing. Billing back on that right hand side, and he this time finds Hogg, who puts the ball down the line. There's way too much on that for Tommy Smith to chase, and it'll be a goal kick for David De Gea and Manchester United away to our left hand side.
Yeah, he would have had to be pretty quick, maybe a Usain Bolt kind of speed to have had any chance of catching that pass from Hogg, but Huddersfield just having a little bit of enjoyment, just keeping the ball for a little bit. Manchester United not looking to really press them too high up the pitch when they lose possession, so it's important Huddersfield do keep it, but just remains to be seen quite how adventurous they are to try and maybe go and break the deadlock.
Inside his own half here is Chris Smalling with possession for United. He survived the goal which saw Young and Jones drop today. Decent run on that far side by Luke Shaw. It looked like he had the pace to get at Tommy Smith that time, but Smith managed to track back and did very well. Here on halfway is Matic now to Alexis Sanchez. Little slide in by Hadajanai, but the Chilean skips away from that. Home debut for Sanchez today. He scored against Huddersfield earlier in the season. A 5-0 win for Arsenal. Now in a slightly different shade of red. And we're looking to add to that tally today and start his life at Old Trafford with a goal, you feel. And he's done well to track back there and take that off of Quainar's toes. Here's Valencia on halfway. McTominay into the feet of Lingard. Now Mata. Again once more to Rojo. Happy to keep the ball here, Manchester United. McTominay again. Caught late by Billing. That may well be a First yellow card of the game, potentially. Stuart Atwell steps over. It was very late, just left that in on McTominay.
Strong challenge. Yeah, McTominay just opening himself up. And as he's passed the ball, Billings just come in. It's almost like a shoulder barge. Not quite an elbow, I'd say, but he's certainly flattened McTominay into the Old Trafford turf. And he certainly knows that Billings around, that's for sure now. He knows he needs to get his passes away a little bit quicker than that. Otherwise, he's going to be coming in for a few more tackles like that, I would imagine. Especially if referee Atwell is going to let tackles like that go this afternoon.
That start against Liverpool was his first since the 14th of October. Just 21 years of age, but physically he's some specimen, to be fair. He seems to have gone for a real physical side today, with Cranar coming in the team as well, and Depocha. You get the impression that he feels that this Manchester United side maybe won't like it up him, as they say.
Well, that's right. Yeah, no, it's important to try and match teams, and then how can you then go and beat them? But it's you've got players like Sanchez, who's just on the ball just a moment ago, who just are so sharp, so quick. But Huddersfield are breaking away at the moment, which is looking promising at the moment.
Huddersfield has it. He's got support down the right from Cranar. He goes early into the box though. Header won that time by Van La Parra. Depocha goes up but can't get there, and Mata will volley it clear from the edge of his own penalty area. As far as Sanchez, who takes it down first time, he's dispossessed though by Holt. Now on that right hand side it's Cranar in towards the feet of Huddersfield, and that ball just goes into the Manchester United penalty area via a deflection and out of play for what will be a goal kick to Manchester United away to our left hand side. And Mourinho is out at the edge of his technical area and he's not looking very happy.
No, maybe might be a combination of the weather and the football so far, who knows.
Out wide on that left hand side it's Shaw. He's not putting his hood up, so he can't be that wet or that cold. Those early goals really do mix things up at the foot of the Premier League table. If it stayed like it is, and we have a long way to go of course, all of a sudden West Brom and Southampton just above them would be level on 23 points, Swansea and then Newcastle on 24, and then Huddersfield and Crystal Palace 25 and 26. It's all very tight near the foot of the table. That's where the story's going to be between now and May, you feel, in terms of the relegation battle, with City strolling away at the top. Here's McTominay out to the right hand side with Valencia, who's midway inside the Huddersfield half. Just lays the ball off to Juan Mata. I mean, Mata's a perfect example of a player that must have felt when Mourinho arrived that his time was up at Old Trafford, seeing as he got rid of him when he was the boss of Chelsea.
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? He's a wonderful footballer. I do like the style and the way that he plays. But you're right. After leaving Chelsea when he did, and then Mourinho coming in the door as the United manager, you did fear for him at the time.
Valencia goes down under the challenge from Van La Parra, and I think actually it was the assistant that gave that rather than the referee, and it will be a free kick for Manchester United again out on this right hand side, probably about 4 or 5 yards in from the near touchline.
Similar position to where Valencia won the free kick a little bit earlier in the game, and again the same kind of setup. Mata stood on the ball, Huddersfield holding that high line on the 18-yard box. I'm sure they'll be having a word with the assistant to make sure he's looking along that line a little bit sharper this time.
It is Mata, swings that one into the edge of the 6-yard box. Arriving was Rocco, and again they're appealing for offside. Lingard went in. I'm not sure you can give the offside in that instance. It was punched away by your own goalkeeper. Smalling across, when it comes to interfering with play, it never happened. McTominay then nods that goalwards, and he's flattened in the penalty area. They want a penalty kick. The referee has not given it and described it, I think, with Schindler as a coming together here. Well, let's just see what Stuart Atwell's got to say. He's asking for the situation to be calmed down. Luke Shaw has gone across. McTominay needs some treatment for a whack in the face. Jonas Lersel's gone down as well, and it's a crazy 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, there's a few balls going into the box, and it was McTominay who went up for a challenge. Looking at a replay again, it's Congola, I think, who catches McTominay. It looks awful, in the sense of like the injury. I mean, you can see why the referee has stopped play, for the concern of McTominay there, but you can see why Man United are sort of possibly looking for some kind of decision from the referee, or whether that was an intentional foul there.
Well, if that was a cartoon, you'd be seeing little birds and stars, I think, whizzing around McTominay's head. I mean, that's an absolute flattening challenge from Terence Congolo.
It is. It's almost like seeing he's been hit almost like you see players in rugby get hit, don't they? Not just the challenge, but the way he was in the air when he got hit, but and hitting the turf as well. And you know, the medical team are assessing him now and checking his vision's okay, but they're giving him the thumbs up. So yeah, this is going to test him out. If he comes through this is showing a good strength of character from him.
21 years of age, of course, through the system here at Old Trafford. First Premier League start came against Bournemouth. He gets his second today, and I think now he's saying to the referee, how is that not a foul? Absolutely flattened. And the technical staff and the physio saying that he's fine. The doctor says he's all right to continue. I'm fairly sure they'll keep an eye on him though. And yet there was no foul, and it's just cleared away by Huddersfield deep into the Manchester United half. I think, as a separate aside there, Huddersfield really got to sort out what they're doing from these free kicks, because their goalkeeper made very clear contact with the ball. The player that got closest to him was not in an offside position. So in terms of interfering with play, as things stand on both occasions, the player that was offside has not interfered.
Exactly, and that's that very grey area where defenders or defending team want the assistant to put his flag up because there's a player in an offside position. But as you rightly say, if they're not interfering with the actual pattern of play, then they can't be given as offside. So it's a grey area because the ball's going into an area with such a massive players and bodies, and Huddersfield are feeling a little upset that they're not getting the decision that they deserve.
Well, I think Mike Dean is now, who is the fourth official today, he's being asked to explain by Jose Mourinho why that wasn't a free kick, and the explanation is that they'd headed the ball and it was more of a coming together by the look of it. I'm not sure Mourinho will accept that, but there we go.
It was certainly a strong challenge, wasn't it? There was no holding out from either player, which was good to see.
Lingard back in field to McTominay, who is up and about and moving freely. Shaw on that far side, miscontrols. He's got Mata with him to help him out though as he's closed down, and we've had 21.5 minutes of what's been a fairly uneventful game so far. 0-0. Here's Valencia down the right hand side for Manchester United. Infield he goes to Mata. Mata on his left foot will just bend the ball. It's a beauty. Shaw's arrived at the left edge of the penalty area. Tries to get the crossover towards Lingard, and it's cleared away from the edge of the 6-yard box, but easily picked up again by Smalling. I mean, what a ball from Juan Mata. Here is Valencia. Decent run as well from Luke Shaw that time. Another beauty. This one into Lingard. Right hand side of the box. Tries to get the crossover. Wins inside the corner. We've seen two terrific passes.
Oh, absolutely exceptional. And Juan Mata, a little bit like Sanchez, just buzzing around trying to get the ball. Wonderful pass, splitting in between the full-back and the centre half, and it was a good run, well timed by Luke Shaw. Just needed to get his quality a little bit better.
Mata in towards the near post, trying to flick it on was Matic. Comes out as far as Lingard and away by Van der Pader, and Billing now has the ball at feet. He's going to run that straight across and into Marcus Rojo, and that surely is going to be the first yellow card of the game for Philip Billing from Stuart Atwell. No doubt about it.
I wouldn't have said it's the worst challenge we've seen in the game so far, but I think Stuart Atwell has got to just put a marker down now to say, right, okay, enough's enough. He has had a little lash out. He's definitely caught him there, and it's a free kick, but I think he's just saying, okay, guys, enough's enough.
No, second foul for Billing. And the first possibly warranted a yellow. This time round, Stuart Atwell does the deed and a yellow card for the day. Right hand side, Valencia here for Manchester United. First time ball in is red and cleared away by Van der Pader. And Valencia then just comes in behind. Van der Pader goes down. Howls of derision from the away fans this time, who I think wanted the free kick that wasn't given. And we'll go to the King Power in a moment for a goal. First of all, here's Luke Shaw to Sanchez. Sanchez across to McTominay. Out wide to the right hand side. Valencia waits, level with the edge of the penalty area. Ball at feet, into the edge of the box. Sanchez is there, tries to toe punt a shot. There's appeals for handball inside the penalty area. That's not given. And now Huddersfield will look to bring it clear again with Rajiv Van der Pader, who's taking on Smalling here. In towards Depotler, but again, they've lost possession. They're not holding the ball up very well when they do get possession here, Huddersfield. And there's a few words exchanged there between Juan Mata and Rajiv Van der Pader as well. It's all getting a bit feisty out there. 24 minutes on the clock, 0-0. Here's Mata on that left-hand side into Lingard. Three around him immediately. Goes back to Matic. Level with the edge of the centre circle. Lingard is caught, and it's a free kick for Manchester United, which Mata's looking to take quickly here. And Stuart Atwell allows them to, and it's all become a bit fractious.
has, yeah, there's a few tackles flying in. Atwell's shown the yellow card already to Billing, but there's still a few challenges flying in. Understandably from Huddersfield, they can't let Man United just pass the ball around without putting them under any kind of pressure or challenges, but they've also got to do it in a disciplined way as well.
McTominay's attempted pass is blocked out. Ukraine now trying to charge forward here for Huddersfield. On the right hand side, Hada Janai has it. Tommy Smith's outside him, who gives it back to Hada Janai again. Smith once more keeps the ball nicely on that far side. We've got 20 minutes left of the first half. It's still 0-0. Goes all the way back to Lurs, all the way to our right hand side. He'll launch one forward off that right foot of his. Over halfway. Header won this time by Depotre. It's closed down by Billing, but it's all the way back with Smalling. And let's get to the King Power then. Leicester Swansea, Matt Davis.
Maguire on halfway, rolling it forward to Iheanacho. Good ball too. Iheanacho edge of the box, trying to weave his way through, finds Vardy. Swansea appeal for offside, the flag stays down. Jamie Vardy puts Leicester City in front. Terrific finish from him.
Leicester on the way, Vardy in good form at the moment. Down this right hand side is Valencia again. He's on the run against Van der Pad. He checks his run, gets it back to Mata. Mata to McTominay, chance to deliver here early down this right hand side, but as per usual they go into a more central area with Matic. Here's Shaw, Mata at the edge of the box, little touch off by Sanchez. Mata with ball at feet, gives it to Sanchez again, edge of the penalty area, gets it out, chance to shoot for Sanchez, beaten away by Lurzel. Mata will pick up the rebound, in fact it's put out of play and Mata will commit the foul, and it will be a free kick for Huddersfield Town, but Alexis Sanchez so close to opening his account for Manchester United.
Wonderful play from United. It was Mata and Sanchez exchanging passes, and Sanchez just cutting inside on his right foot, teeing it up. You thought he's got a great opportunity here, and he struck it extremely well, but Lurzel pulls off a great save to his right hand side.
Almost the perfect start to life at Old Trafford for Alexis Sanchez, and maybe that will just spring this game into life. Juan Mata at the heart of most things good here for Manchester United, but he has just got himself a booking.
Yeah, he's just sliding in
up challenge there, wasn't it?
After Lurzel's save, yeah, the ball was still in play after the initial save, and Mata just sliding in. He's raised his boot and he's showing his studs. So, by the book nowadays, it's a booking.
He has scored 8 goals in 9 Premier League appearances against newly promoted sides. Alexis Sanchez, he does like to score against the new boys. The frustration there from Romelu Lukaku. He was hoping a ball was going to be popped over his shoulder for him to chase onto, and it wasn't. And so far we've seen nothing from Lukaku in the game.
We haven't. He's barely touched the ball, I think, has he? You can understand if he's getting frustrated. They're playing the ball around well. Sanchez, Mata, McTominay, they're all getting on the ball a lot. Valencia's doing well down the right hand side. Luke Shaw pushing high down the left, but the ball rarely seems to be going into the box or into Lukaku himself.
Matic out wide on that left hand side where he finds Shaw. Almost 28 minutes played, 0-0. So far so good for David Wagner on his Huddersfield side. Oh, there's Lukaku trying to combine with Lingard. Nice header on towards Sanchez. Lingard, Sanchez with a chance inside the box, goes down. No penalty from the referee. Sanchez holds his left boot in fury. Stuart Atwell waves them away. Nothing doing. I'm not so sure there was one there either, but there's fury amongst the Manchester United players and the fans, obviously, as Sanchez thought he'd won his side of spot kick.
Sanchez is wincing, holding his ankle, but there's a challenge coming. I think he's gone to ground very easy. It's not a penalty for me from what we've just seen very quickly. There's a few appeals from the United players, but I think they're almost trying to influence Atwell into giving a decision as opposed to it being a stonewall penalty. Good decision.
0-0 here, big games at the bottom of the table. Bournemouth 0, Stoke 1, Brighton 0, West Ham 1, Leicester 1, Swansea 0, West Brom 1, Southampton 0. Almost half an hour played here, 80% possession for Manchester United, and yet nothing to show for it. One save really from Lurzel, or maybe 2 at a push. Aside from that, not really creating many an opportunity. Here is Sanchez, ball at feet, midway inside his own, inside the Huddersfield half, should I say. Out wide to the right-hand side again, where Valencia is almost stationed on this near touchline. Here's Mata, in short to Sanchez, who followed his pass. Oh, lovely ball through the legs, finds Mata. Mata in the penalty area, tries to get it across to Lukaku. Sanchez heads it back into the danger zone, and it's cleared away by Quaynard to that right-hand side. And now it's Smalling who's put under pressure by Dupotler, and then Matic is there to sweep up inside the centre circle.
Wonderful football from United again. Mata and Sanchez again, that combination, just great little ball through the legs, and Mata into the box, just couldn't find that fast final pass to Lukaku. But you've got to give some credit to Huddersfield. They're defending well, defending for their lives, but they've got to at the moment.
There's Lukaku, gets it from Sanchez. It's on to Mata at the edge of the penalty area. Just rolls his ball over, foot over the ball, gives it to Lingard. There's Shaw. Mata at the edge of the penalty area, scoops it forward, headed away from the edge of the box, only as far as Matic. They're all camped in at the edge of that Huddersfield penalty area now. He's back, Valencia down this right-hand side. Lovely 1-2 with Sanchez, and his attempted cross is blocked out by Congolo, and it's been blocked out. I think they've given a corner here. Or has he given a goal kick?
From the reaction of the players, I think it might have given a goal kick. Might have just come off Valencia at the last moment.
Sure.
The referee and the assistant ordered, given a goal kick.
There was a little bit of fury around.
Yeah, there was a few moans and groans, wasn't there?
Another goal at the King Power for Matt Davies.
Coming in field, playing it to Ndidi. Ndidi on free, and Iheanacho foul. The referee says play on. It's worked back to Ndidi. He's through. He's made it 2-0. Again, Swansea City are feeling, but again the goal is going to stand.
Ndidi on target for Leicester City then, who leads. Good response to that defeat against Everton. Leads Swansea by 2-0. Maybe they're suffering a little hangover following that victory, of course, over Arsenal. And it was a little injury here for Dupotler, who went up and won a really high header. Bit of a back problem for him, but the throw is Huddersfield's on that right-hand side. We'll go to the Amex again in a moment. Goals everywhere today, apart from here at Old Trafford. Dupotler fixed it on, but there's no one there. I mean, from an offensive perspective, I'm not sure what Huddersfield's game plan is here. Down that right-hand side, Quaynard just tries to find Tommy Smith. Lingard's there and tries to shepherd it out. Luke Shaw has to help him out, and then it comes to Smith again, who will get the cross away. And he does well to find Van der Pala inside the penalty area. Here's Congolo, who swings that in with his left boot. Cleared away by Marcus Rojo. Onward again by Lingard. Controlled in the middle of the park by Hogg, who loses out to Sanchez, and Sanchez is away over halfway now for Manchester United. Alexis Sanchez is blocked off by Van der Pala, legally, says the referee, and Huddersfield will bring it clear.
He did so well, Sanchez, picking the ball up in his own half and running into the midway through the Huddersfield half before he got bundled to the ground. I think it was maybe more a case of a foul or a little push, or there's two Huddersfield players. There's a little bit of a tug back possibly from Van der Pala, and then, well, just seeing it again, it was maybe more Sanchez running into the defender.
Oh, there's a change here, yeah, and it looks like Billing is coming off, which one would assume is because of injury, and Aaron Moy will replace him. Billing makes his way to the benches. Moy is on. I haven't seen Billing limping.
No, nothing that was obvious really, that where he maybe picked up an injury at all, but he seemed to leave the pitch pretty quick, didn't he? But I must admit, Adam, I feel a little bit sorry for Laurent Dupotler of Huddersfield. He's up front, he's barely seen the football. Any balls going up to him have been up to his head, and when he's won it, he's not got any support.
There's Lingard with the effort from the edge of the penalty area, and Lursel again makes a comfortable save, and I think Lursel's saying to his defence, is anyone going to track him? Anyone feel like tackling him? 33 and a half minutes played, it's 0-0. Let's get to the Amex, Barry Swain.
One back from Hernandez. Hernandez 30 yards from goal, looking at his options. Low ball, and in towards Hernandez. Can he get the shot in? Oh, he can, and that's a wonderful goal by Javier Hernandez. Shaped himself up, waited for the moment, and then planted it into the top corner. It's a sound finish from the Mexican, and West Ham are back on level terms.
Admitted this week he did ask to leave the club earlier in January, but now he's staying. He's happy to fight for his shirt. Not scoring again today will do him no harm, that's for sure. Lukaku on that far side. So one apiece now, the game at the Amex. Here is Sanchez, just turns and gets away from Moore. Gives it to McTominay. Lovely touches from Alexis Sanchez. Here's Valencia down the right-hand side. He's on a run here. Loses out, though, to Congolo and then also to Van Lapada. And that's come off Lingard, has it? And into touch for what will be a throw on this near side to Huddersfield. I mean, Billing, as we say, he wasn't limping, so he was very early to make a change, but then they haven't got a foothold in terms of keeping the ball and moving forward, Huddersfield, and maybe they feel Moy might offer that option.
Well, Wagner's just the kind of manager that you wonder if he's would make a change just to try and get that foothold a little bit more in the game. Just seen a replay again of the penalty incident with Sanchez, and
it's a proper dive. That
he's gone to the ground very easy, hasn't he?
It's not even close. There was a late offside to cancel out that second goal for Leicester. Still only 1-0 in the game between Leicester and Swansea. And Ndidi's goal ruled out for offside. Here's a corner for Huddersfield. Well, they've actually ventured into the Manchester United penalty area.
Well, I think it was welcomed with a big cheer from their travelling supporters as well. So let's see what their defenders and the rest of the team can do. It could be a little bit of a threat to De Gea's goal.
And they failed to score in 13 games. Now Huddersfield, 9 of those have been on the road. Moy's taken this one towards Depotre, whose shot is blocked by Rojo. There's a shove there on McTominay by Jorgensen in the penalty area, and the free kick goes Manchester United's way.
It was a nicely worked corner, to be honest. It was Depotre's limping after the challenge now, but Huddersfield players just took a lot of the red shirts into the box. The ball was cut back. It was just a clash. Depotre.
Well, that's a ball through that everyone's left. Lingard inside the penalty area, gets away from the keeper, tries to chip it over, and Lörsel will collect it just about. Well, it looked like a ball that was going to easily skip through to the heart of the back line as Valencia plays it, but instead it had Jorgensen and Schindler on their heels. Lörsel came out, got beaten to it by Lingard, but nothing came of it.
There's a ball that Jorgensen thought Lörsel was coming out to comfortably collect, didn't he? But obviously didn't realise he was behind him, and all of a sudden there was a mass panic on, but Lörsel spread himself and gratefully collected the ball.
They're keeping the ball a little bit better here, Huddersfield, when they do get it. They're looking a little more potent going forward, or they're saying that United have it once more. 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Manchester United 0, Huddersfield 0.
I'd say Huddersfield are growing in confidence, Adam. They're well over half an hour into the game now. Haven't conceded. Okay, they haven't offered an awful lot going forward, I must admit, and you do wonder how long can you keep United out, but they'll take some heart from that.
Lukaku into Lingard, who can't quite get his shot away from the edge of the penalty area. Depotre looks like he's limping, and he chases after this one like a madman. Maybe he looks like he's limping all the time. Depotre has it on that far side, holds the ball up. Rojo's in close attention. Rojo then just does enough, does he? No, Depotre keeps holding the ball nicely. Header Jonai towards the edge of the penalty area. Looks to cut inside the box and go beyond Shaw, and Rojo has to get it clear. Only as far there as Congolo, who stoops down. And interesting, earlier on, I noticed that Terence Congolo, of course, who was arrived on loan from Monaco, when Sanchez was injured, well, he was up and about, but he looked uncomfortable. He actually put the ball out of play. No one's told him we don't do that in the Premier League anymore, clearly. They still do it in France. Well, it is, but as you saw from some of his Huddersfield players, I think they politely asked, "What on earth are you doing?" May have not quite been the words they used, but
I'm sure he's a quick learner. It'll be interesting to see if he does it again next time the scenario pops up.
It's Sanchez into Lukaku, and Sanchez wanted it back. Lukaku was trying to turn it around the corner to Lingard, and Sanchez has told him that he doesn't think that was the right decision. Here is Lukaku. Here's Mata, chips it over the top. Lukaku's continued his run, and Jorgensen just volleys it clear from right next to Lukaku, and there's a foul there on Mata by Quainer, and that's going to be a free kick for Manchester United, about 30 yards out from goal.
Yeah, correct decision. It's a poor touch, and Mata just nipping in. Quainer just conceding a foul, but it's a dangerous area to concede. Dangerous time of the game as well. They've done well so far, Huddersfield. You just wonder whether if United can get that breakthrough before half-time, just crumble any hopes that Huddersfield have of getting anything here today.
Rain continues to fall. Sanchez is over this free kick, 30 yards from goal. To the left-hand side, probably about level with the edge of the box. Lukaku, Lingard, Smalling, Rojo, they're all inside. Sanchez chips it over, Smalling's after it at the back post, and Lörsel makes the save, but then this time round, the offside flag is up against Chris Smalling.
It's a late whistle, wasn't it? I know they do leave it late and they want to see the players actually sort of get to the ball, but you know, correct decision. Again, Huddersfield playing that real high line there. It's a risky strategy. It's good if it comes off, but it only needs one player to switch off, or you know, the timing of the run to be spot on. United are getting behind them. There's been a few occasions where they've looked threatening.
And we certainly have. 39 minutes played here, 0-0. Nothing doing really. Lersel's had to make 2 or 3 decent saves. We'll seek out some confirmation about why Billing's been replaced by Moy, but no word as yet. We'll keep across that one for you, find out that it was just a tactical decision by Huddersfield. They've certainly got a little more creativity in the middle of the park. Here is Lingard, lovely layoff that time to Sanchez, who's ever busy and wants the ball at feet, and tries to set Valencia away, but he's put too much on that, and it'll be a throw-in for Huddersfield, 3 or 4 yards from the corner flag on this left-hand side. There's no doubt the effort and application from Sanchez so far today.
Well, we touched on before the kick-off, didn't we, about Paul Pogba and you know, the talent that he's got, but maybe question his effort and his work rate at times, and most definitely in that last game against Tottenham. And Sanchez is putting that in, he's putting a shift in, but he looks dangerous when he's on the ball as well.
I think Matt has been accused there of just having a little kick out that time at Schindler. So a free kick that's gone Huddersfield's way. He needs to be careful, he's already been booked. There's been a goal at the Hawthorns for Michael McCann.
Ball is taken quickly, work to Lamina on the edge of the box, shoots right-footed, it's an absolute screamer! What a first Premier League goal from Mario Lamina! West Brom 1, Southampton 1, and it's the summer signing from Juventus who finally marks his signing for the Saints with a beautiful goal.
I've always been impressed by Lamina when I've seen him so far this season. Looks a very classy midfielder. Here is Sanchez inside the centre circle. Funny Benali's a bit happier. Lukaku's coming for this one, but Lersel will get out from his goal. That's the first time we've had a ball that Lukaku's been able to chase in the penalty area, and Lersel comes out, but he had the beating in the back line.
He did, yeah. It was a good timed run, but the ball was just a little bit heavy again. Sanchez at the forefront of it all. It was a wonderful little layoff. I think it was Lingard, was it? But just a little bit too strong, and Lersel was bright and alert and was quickly off his line to gather the ball on the edge of his box.
Isn't that what you want for Lingard, though? Those kind of balls that he can just turn the defender and he's away, isn't it?
Well, when it's a one-touch and played so quickly like that, as a defender, if the other teammates are making the runs and their timing of the runs are right, there's near on anything you can do to stop it.
I just feel I remember so many of the goals scored by Lukaku at Everton and also when he was at West Brom were very much about him with ball at feet or him running onto balls, as opposed to always having his back to goal like he seems to in this Jose Mourinho side. Down the left hand side is Van La Parra, gets it into the box, but nothing on that at all from the Dutchman. And it's going to be cleared away by Matic into the feet of Lingard, who's dispossessed just outside the edge of the penalty area illegally, according to the referee. Hogg's challenge and a free kick again for Manchester United.
Again, just that ball coming in from the left-hand side for Huddersfield. I think it sums up how they're approaching the game to a degree, because there was only Depotra who was the one Huddersfield player that was in the 18-yard box as the ball came into the box.
He looks spent, doesn't he, already?
He does. You know, he looks heavy-legged. He's taken 1 or 2 heavy challenges as well. It must be so demoralising when you just seems like you're constantly running around but never seeing the football.
Long ball forward by Rojo on that far side, looking to find Lingard, who doesn't control it. There are arms up everywhere for an offside that wasn't coming, and it will be a throw-in for Huddersfield on that far side. Lingard in the form of his life at the moment. He's scored more goals this season so far than the last 2 combined. 9 in his last 14 appearances for Jesse Lingard, but again, nothing quite falling for him today. And well, it's no great surprise that he's suddenly become one of the first names down on Mourinho's team sheet in recent weeks.
Yeah, he's one of the top performers, and he's maturing into a very, very good player. You know, he's got that undoubted talent and ability, but it's almost like he's recognising now that he wants to be one of the players that wants to step up and be the star, as opposed to one of the other players or 2 or 3 of the other players being the top guys in the side.
Here's Mata, lays off to Sanchez. Moy does well to dispossess Sanchez on the move and then tries to play the ball on the floor. Doesn't quite manage it that time, and Here's a chance for Moy on halfway to break it through for Huddersfield, and he does to Hada Janai, and then out wide to that right-hand side. Smith is on the charge with the blue and white stripes. Lovely ball. Cradar to the byline, tries to get it over to Puncher with a header, and it had to be cleared away by Smalling and out for a corner.
Great play from Huddersfield. Smith just playing the ball in. Great little counter-attack, looked a bit more promising this time. Moy getting up to support. It's a great timed run. He's definitely onside. Again, only Depotra, then Moy arriving late, but a bit better from Huddersfield just before the half-time whistle.
It is. Good header won by Smalling at the near post as well. Here's the corner on the right-hand side for Huddersfield. Swung over, Roddy Golds by Congolo, nearly came to Moy. Van der Parra on the half volley has just sliced that up in the air. No one's really gone for it. In fact, they have now had a Janai with the ball over. Depotra tries to win the header, comes out to Moy, who hits it on the volley, straight into the backside of Jesse Lingard. And then Sanchez is there, who finds Lukaku. And now the counter's on. Mata down the left-hand side into 2 minutes of added time. Here's Sanchez in the centre circle, and he's away from Moy. He's done well, then he loses out, and Huddersfield win back possession.
He thinks he's fouled, but I question that. Huddersfield did so well. You saw the counter-attack was initially on with Lukaku and Mata, but the Huddersfield defenders and players got back extremely quickly. Sanchez just turning back towards his own half. He's thrown his arms about. He's unhappy with the decision, but he should have done better there.
Yeah, just delayed for a moment too long. Here is Mata. Ball at feet into Sanchez. Lay off to Mata towards Lukaku. It's red though. On that occasion, beautifully by Jorgensen, and now Van der Parra's away over halfway for Huddersfield. He's taking on Smalling, Rajiv Van der Parra, and Smalling does really well, wins the ball nicely. Decent defending from Chris Smalling.
He's playing well, made some key headers in his own 18-yard box moments ago, and there's just shown his class, his composure, defending extremely well.
Here's McTominay again towards Sanchez. He's beaten to it, and then he goes in with a challenge. He's going to get punished for that. Hannah Janai goes down. Sanchez says, "What are you going down for?" Well, he went down because you hacked at him, Alexis Sanchez, and that's why you're going to get a yellow card. I think he may have got away without a yellow if he hadn't then started on Hannah Janai.
Yeah, he was stood over him, wasn't he, with his arms in the air outside, almost to say, "What you're doing?" Well, you know, one or two of the Huddersfield players could have done the same to Sanchez when he went down in the box possibly, but yeah, that probably hasn't helped him. You can tell there's a bit of frustration from before. He's nowhere near the ball. It's not a nasty foul by any means, but it's certainly a tackle that you know was not a good one by any means.
Well, and he absolutely makes contact with him. There is no argument about that, and yet he waves his finger to say I didn't touch him. Farcical. Sanchez has been busy in the first half, the good, the bad, and at times the ugly from him as well. Lersel's made some decent saves. Nothing doing here at half-time though. It's 0-0. Late goal in the game at the Hawthorn. It's commentary from Michael McCann.
Ward-Prowse with the corner, right-footed in, swinging, scuffed towards the near post, flicked on and in! Southampton do have the lead! It's probably undeserved on the balance of play, but I very much doubt they will care one jot. West Bromwich Albion 1, Southampton 2. Jack Stevens gets himself a third goal of the season.
Something for Franny Benali to smile about at half-time, but they very rarely hold on to a lead, mate. Don't get too excited. Half-time here at Old Trafford is 0-0. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Gets away from another, comes into the top corner. It is a moment of Merseyside magic from Mo Salah. He's done it again. He's 19th of the season.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
With the ball in the penalty area, dips one. Oh, that is a magnificent goal from Jermaine Defoe. Absolutely stunning from Jermaine Defoe.
Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Mancity back to Arnautovic. He's inside the box. There is his first goal for West Ham. Arnautovic took it beautifully. He curled it low past Courtois.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Rolls it into the feet. Little layup. Arfield going to get punched back. 1 minute. 1-0. Arfield opens the scoring in the 45th minute. Burnley strike against the 10th man of Watford.
Every game is covered.
Moy lifts it in left-footed. It's a deep cross. It's headed on by Mounier, and it's 2 for Mounier. Well, like London buses, the goals are now pouring in for Steve Mounier.
Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's Gale. Good shot, goal! Dwight Gale's put Newcastle level. Chris blow shot from the edge of the penalty area. Low pass, Schmeichel in a flag.
This is Premier League Live.
Crosses to Olivier Giroud. Equaliser for Arsenal, and as so often, Olivier Giroud off the bench to rescue Arsene Wenger.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game involves the two things in life you love the most:
Football and money.
Exactly predict 10 or more Premier League scores and win £1 million sterling.
The TalkSport £1 million predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season. Win £1 million sterling.
£1 million.
Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
Welcome back to Old Trafford. No goals here at half-time, but plenty of goals elsewhere. Here's the story of the opening 45 minutes.
On the front foot, Peters with a throw into Allen, back to Peters, now out to Ndine. Ndine lifts it in again, target there, free header, 1-0. Shaqiri, the smallest man inside that Bournemouth penalty area, just drops his header as the cross comes in from his left.
Comes towards the far post and in. West Brom have the lead. Ahmed Higazi with the goal. His second Premier League goal of the season, and it could prove oh so important.
Oh, it's been caught very late there by Cresswell, and here's Murray, and Murray's onside. Glenn Murray scores for Brighton and Hove Albion.
Wire on halfway, rolling it forward to Iheanacho. Good ball too. Iheanacho edge of the box, trying to weave his way through, finds Vardy. Swansea appeal for offside, the flag stays down. Jamie Vardy puts Leicester City in front.
Towards Hernandez, in towards Hernandez, can he get the shot in? Oh, he can, and that's a wonderful goal by Javier Hernandez. Shaped himself up, waited for the moment, and then planted it into the top corner. It's a sound finish from the Mexican, and West Ham are back on level terms.
The ball is taken quickly, worked to Lemina on the edge of the box, shoots right-footed. It's an absolute streamer. What a first Premier League goal for Mario Lemina. Prowse with the corner, right-footed in, swinging scuff towards the near post, flicked on and in. Southampton do have the lead. It's probably undeserved on the balance of play, but I very much doubt they will care one jot. West Bromwich Albion 1, Southampton 2. Jack Stevens gets himself a third goal of the season.
Highlights of the opening 45 minutes then. The scores as they stand: Bournemouth 0, Stoke City 1. It's Brighton 1, West Ham 1. Leicester 1, Swansea City 0. West Brom 1, Southampton 2. And here at Old Trafford, Manchester United 0, Huddersfield 0. Reminder, earlier on today, it finished Burnley 1, Manchester City 1. And we've got Arsenal against Everton coming up at 5:30 UK time. That's our late game today. And ahead of that, we'll talk to Fran in a moment about the first half here. But let's hear it from Arsene Wenger and Sam Allardyce.
Many predicted that he will not commit and not sign for us, and overall it's good news for us. That is, when you look at the transfer market today, that the fact that he can keep a player of that caliber is of course good news, and the fact that he committed for a longer period shows as well that he will have to do that. He will have to do that as well on the pitch and lead the team.
The Emirates is a different kettle of fish. It's about being able to nullify the strengths of Arsenal, and then, as always, we've always felt, or I've always felt, defensively they are weak because of the amount of players that they commit forward. So if we're clever enough to not give the ball away and break out from when we win the ball back with some quality forward passes and forward runs, we can play well and get good counter-attacking movement going.
Well, he's a typical striker, you know, with a great pace and good ratio on games played and goals scored, and has a good work rate as well. And he's a team player, so overall I believe that he would... we lost some goals, you know, because we lost Sanchez, Giroud and Walcott to our goal scorers, and so he will compensate on that front. He's massively popular as well inside our dressing room and inside our club.
No, that's good, as long as he's popular. I don't know if he's popular when he's earning vast sums of money, but there we go. Coming up later, Russell Hargreaves and Steve Simonson will guide you through Arsenal against Everton. That's when we're done here at Old Trafford. Franny Benali is alongside me. The first half probably panned out as we expected it to. Manchester United with all the possession, all the busier of the keepers. Huddersfield eventually got a bit of a toehold into the game as they seem to grow in confidence, but all in all, not the best 45 minutes of football we've seen.
No, not as a spectacle, to be honest, but you know, Wagner would definitely be the happier of the two managers. The game plan, I would imagine, is working so far. We're unsure about the whole Billing substitution, whether that's a tactical one or whether he did pick up an injury, with Aaron Moy coming on to replace him. United haven't been good enough and created enough to create that opening to score the first goal yet. They've come close on a couple of occasions. You mentioned Nursall making a couple of good saves. You need your goalkeeper. If you're going to come away with anything from Old Trafford, you need your goalkeeper and predominantly your back four, but yes, as a team, to have an outstanding game defensively and the game plans come off. But you can't just hang your hat on that and not really offer much more going forward, and that would be my question mark. You know, Mourinho, I'm sure, will send a few rockets around the dressing room at half time, and United need to step it up to be a little bit sharper to take anything from this match.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a tactical change, because actually, since Moyes come on, they have, when they've got the ball, which hasn't been very much in the half, but they have retained it a little better and done a little more with it.
Yeah, he just keeps it simple, Moy. Whenever he's picked it up since he's been on, he's been the catalyst when they've won the ball in the centre of the park there to just keep it simple and then try and get up and join Lepotra. You know, there was one of the crosses that came into the box. Lepotra was the only player in, and then it was Moy almost the next player out of the entire Huddersfield team that was trying to get on the end of the cross. So yeah, he's made a difference.
And in terms of what Man United do to try and break down this very stubborn Huddersfield defence, what we've not seen from them is a lot of width today.
No, they're getting that a little bit from Valencia and Shaw, but you know, they've got Lingard, Sanchez, Mata, all buzzing round, interchanging and trying to play those short little 1-2s, and that's coming off okay. But Lukaku, as we've touched on in the first half commentary, he's not really figured at all, and there's been spells where he's been out of the game for long periods.
Yeah, he certainly has. More to come then from Franny Benali in the second half. What can United do to try and break down this stubborn Huddersfield defence? Or are we going to get a repeat of that game in October? And are the Terriers going to steal it? Stay around. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Salah into the penalty area. Mo Salah gets it through. Firmino! 3-0. Counter-attacking football at its best. Roberto Firmino.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
Here's Aguero trying to find a way through. Sergio Aguero, as he does so well. Brilliant goal. Marvellous goal by Sergio Aguero.
full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Ball comes in towards Willian, breaks back to Pedro. It's 3-0 to Chelsea, but it's all too easy.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Calvert-Lewin gets it back from Rooney as well. Again, better from Everton. Crosses the middle. It's Lennon with the header this time. The keeper spills it, and Wayne Rooney turns it home.
Every game is covered.
Mesut Ozil wants it back. This would be a lovely goal. Mesut Ozil into Olivier Giroud. Arsenal have doubled their advantage. It's a simply superb goal from Arsenal. A beautiful collective move.
Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's the corner, swung in well on, header's in, it's a goal! West Ham have equalised, and Cheku Kouyaté is celebrating. The equaliser for West Ham from the corner in the final minute of the first half.
This is Premier League Live.
Headed away that time by Stevens, and that's deflected and in! Ashley Young with a shot in top of Lewis Dunk, and it curls into the top corner. Ashley Young will take the credit for it, but it's a wicked deflection off of Lewis Dunk.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
Welcome to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester United against Huddersfield Town from Old Trafford. I'm your host Adam Bridge. Alongside me is the former Southampton defender Francis Benali. You are listening to Premier League Live. We await the return of the two teams here at Old Trafford who have yet to appear for the start of the second 45 minutes, despite the fact we are already kind of 15 minutes into the half-time break. We'll see if there's any changes at half-time for you as well. I wonder, Franny, if at some point we're going to see Paul Pogba.
Most probably, I would imagine, Adam. Yeah, there's a lot of strength on the bench, you know, with those changes that were made. Martial, Rashford, and Pogba. You know, we'll see some changes at some point for sure, especially if it stays like this. But you know, at the moment, it doesn't look like either team wants to come out because the weather's not great here, and you know, it's either that or the managers are definitely going to town in the dressing room at half-time.
Well, it looks like, thankfully, it stopped raining. They have only lost one of their last 46 home games in all competitions. Manchester United, in fact, their last two home defeats here have been against Manchester City, but then doesn't everyone lose to Manchester City, although not Burnley today. Let's run you through the two teams. We'll start with the Manchester United side while we still await their return. David De Gea is in goal, Valencia, Smalling, Rojo and Shaw were the back line at the start for United today. McTominay and Matic, the two central midfielders, with Mata, Lingard and Sanchez supporting Romelu Lukaku, who's very much played a side role in this game so far. Romero, Lindelof, Young, Carrick, Pogba, Martial and Rashford are amongst the substitutes for United. And finally, David Wagner has appeared for Huddersfield. They have Merton in goal, Jorgensen, Schindler and Kongola at the back. The two wing-backs appear to be Smith on the right-hand side, alongside Van der Padde, and then we have Quaynard providing some support to Depotru up top as well, with Hogg and Moy in the middle and Hader-Janai joining in too. It's a rather bizarre formation as we just get our attention drawn to the welcome to Manchester banner for Alexis Sanchez and his two dogs, Atom and Number, and there's a picture of them as well. One of the more bizarre banners you'll see at Old Trafford. Malone, Coleman, Pritchard, Ince, Mounier and Hefele are on the bench today for Huddersfield. You'll be pleased with the rain has started again. Mourinho, unshaven today and not looking very happy. Ambles down the near touchline. He was toweling himself off during the first half as he was stood out in the rain for long periods, and maybe it's a bit too cool to put his hood up. Like when you used to walk home from school, it was a bit too embarrassing to put your furry Parker hood up, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I used to just put the hood on my head and have the coat flame. A little bit like a cape. I thought I was a superhero.
Well, I think you'll find most Southampton fans think you were too. No two ways about that. We're off and running. Man United are getting us underway. Right to left they play in the second half in that red shirts, white shorts and black socks. The blue and white stripes for Huddersfield as Lukaku flicks one on for Lingard to try and chase onto in the penalty area, but Lörsel is out and alert to the danger. Didn't concede a goal until the game against West Ham. Jonas Lörsel had a terrific start to his life in the Premier League. Not been so good since then, that's for sure, particularly on the road. No clean sheets in their last 9 away from home. Last time they managed a shutout was against Burnley in September. One of 2 clean sheets away from the John Smiths, and one of those came on the opening day, of course, against Crystal Palace. They also struggled to score goals on the road as well, so a whole mountain of problems when away from home territory for this Huddersfield side. United have possession on the far side with Lingard. Little touch on down that touchline to Mata. Mata seems to have a free role today. He seems to be absolutely going anywhere he fancies.
Yeah, you wonder whether that's what Mourinho saying to, with Sanchez coming in, Pogba dropping to the bench. He's got 2 mobile players that like to get on the ball, can see a pass, can pick players out, teammates that they'll see runs that maybe 1 or 2 other players may not necessarily. And you want to get those players, Mata, Sanchez, Lingard on the ball as much as they can.
Here is Mata again, out wide to the right-hand side to Valencia, who knocks the ball into the penalty area. Lukaku flicks on, Sanchez is there, back to Lukaku in the area, takes it down, comes to Sanchez again with his left foot, and a wonderful block that time by Tommy Smith at the edge of the 6-yard box to deny his shot, troubling Lörsel. He's got it back now though off Matic. In fact, Matic has it at the edge of the penalty area. Shaw down the left-hand side. Sanchez makes the run for it, taken down by Smith. Free kick midway between the edge of the penalty area and the sideline, level with a penalty spot, and Smith's getting a yellow card for that too.
Yeah, he's acknowledging that he's made the foul. It was a wonderful block he made from Sanchez a little bit earlier, but Sanchez just gets a toe to the ball before Tommy Smith, and Smith's boot obviously clatters into Sanchez, so it's a correct decision. Is a booking now, but he made a wonderful block from earlier. Lukaku just playing Sanchez in, got a little bit lucky with a deflection. It looked like Sanchez was going to get his shot away, but wonderful block, last ditch it.
Here is Sanchez with a free kick across the edge of the penalty area, comes towards Mata, the keeper's missed it, it's on the byline, and it has to be poked behind by Congolo, and out for what will be a corner on this near side for Manchester United. And they've taken it short. Here is Sanchez to Lingard, 25 yards from goal. Gets it square. Valencia's going to hit one, is he? Onto his left foot, Valencia. It's blocked off the back that time of Hada Jonai, and it goes out for another corner, this time on the Manchester United right.
United have raced out the traps, haven't they, after the half-time break, putting Huddersfield Town under pressure, winning 2 corners in short succession, piling the pressure on.
Mata with the corner. McTominay can't get up there. Rojo will knock it back into the danger zone. It's a high one round the penalty spot, and it comes out to Sanchez, who hits it. Congolo blocks it. I don't think he knew much about it, and then Lingard has another go from the edge of the penalty area, and it's high, wide and handsome.
Once again it drops to Sanchez. He's slapping his thigh in almost disappointment. Huddersfield Town shutting the ball down. It's a little bit frantic at times, but they're throwing bodies in the way of everything, getting blocks, getting little touches. Then it was Lingard that just wildly flashed the shot high and wide. But they've stepped up the game for sure.
Morning to Joe Ely, who's listening while he's on his 8-mile early morning run in San Diego in California. A sunny and mild 64 degrees there.
I'm feeling very envious.
Well, I was going to say, Joe sent us a picture while he's on his run. He doesn't look too troubled by it, bit of sweat maybe, but nothing more. You know a little bit about running, don't you?
Well, I'd love to be doing a bit of running in that weather, and as you say, he looks very fresh, but nice that he's tuning into the commentary as well.
It is while he's on his journey. Sorry we've not brought you any goals so far, not from here anyway, plenty elsewhere, but still 0-0 between Manchester United and Huddersfield Town, maybe quite surprising. Depotra does well there to hold the ball up midway inside the United half. Hada Jonai then takes down McTominay because he just ran the ball too far, and the youngster, the Scot, stepped across him. He completed the challenge. No card this time round. McTominay suffering no after effects after he was clattered early in that first half by Congolo. United have it on halfway on the right hand side. Mata to McTominay again. Matic just directs the youngster to play the ball to Rojo on this near side. Rojo up towards Sanchez, who's being held. Holds the ball nicely though. Gets it back to Rojo. Matic in the centre circle. Shifting play out to the right hand side, where Valencia traps it nicely and then plays a little short ball into Mata, which is followed up by Mata, and the layoff to Valencia was good. The ball then to Lingard was okay, but Lingard's layoff to Mata wasn't the best, but they've smuggled it back off the toes of Moy, and they have it again here in the centre circle with McTominay. Forward again to Sanchez. Oh, lovely little drop of the shoulder and spin away from Huddersfield, and then he's fouled in the process, this time by Hogg, and that's going to be a free kick to United midway inside the Huddersfield half.
Oh, what a great little bit of play. He's just let the ball roll across him, dipped his shoulder. It's wonderful play here. The defender's literally slipped. I mean, it's a greasy surface, yes, but when his movement's that sharp, his touch just went away a little bit from him, but he's won the free kick.
He's quite fortunate, isn't he, because his pass was dreadful and it ricocheted back off of Hogg, and then Hogg took him out.
Yeah, he wiped him out pretty well, but he's followed it up with a poor free kick. You know, he may argue his Manchester United teammates weren't ready and alive for his free kick to be taken, but it went quite easily through to Lörsel to collect.
Yeah, I think I want to see a little more quality from Sanchez when he's on the ball. We're seeing some lovely glimpses of what he's got to offer here for Manchester United. However, we need to see a better final product than what we've had so far. 51.5 minutes on the clock. Manchester United 0, Huddersfield Town 0. Reminder, Pogba dropped today. He's on the bench if you've just joined us. As that ball from Sanchez was pinged out on the right towards Valencia, and they've almost got themselves into a mess there, Huddersfield at the back. It's only as far as Matic. Now Valencia again on the right hand side. Sanchez on the run just inside Valencia. He goes back to Sanchez, lets it run across him, gets a first touch with his left foot. Crunching challenge from Moy, wins the ball cleanly. Sanchez is still on the floor. Referee quite rightly says play on, and United do. Rojo has it midway inside the Huddersfield half. Here is Matic, yet to score for Manchester United. Lovely ball through to Valencia, but it was read that time by Van La Parra, who gets in with a challenge. Now down that far touchline, Quaynard with a challenge on Valencia, but he skips past him. Now we'll get the ball over in the penalty area, and the outstretched boot this time of Schindler gets it away. Moy helps it on its way, only again as far as Matic though. They're completely hemmed in here, Huddersfield. Here is Matic, thinks about letting fly from 30 yards. He's scored some spectacular goals, particularly while at Chelsea. Here's Shaw though, nipped in by Sanchez, and his ball across to Lukaku was easily read again by Schindler and put out of play on this near side for United throw. They've taken it quickly. Sanchez with the ball at feet again. Tries to get through Hadajanai. Comes back once more to Rojo. Here is Smalling. We'll go to the King Power in a moment. But this really is a relentless onslaught from Manchester United at the start of this second half. The last 5 minutes have been solely played inside this Huddersfield half, and actually probably in about a 30-yard patch. Here is Sanchez, infield to Matic again. Matic tries to nip it through to Shaw. Hadajanai gets there. Here's Van La Parra, who has come over and is playing now on this right-hand side for Huddersfield. Up towards Depocha, who's got the better that time of McTominay, then tries to go round the outside of him, but the 21-year-old skips in and gives it back to David De Gea. Whew, breather. Let's go to the King Power. Leicester against Swansea, Matt Davis.
Key will take the corner over from the far side, the left, looking for a better delivery than his last one. Over it comes out. He's good too, and the header's in from Federico Fernandez. Swansea City back level.
One apiece then in the game at the King Power. Carlos Carvalhal still delivering stuff for Swansea that Paul Clement couldn't before. Here's Mata, ball across the box, Lukaku! One chance, one goal for Romelu Lukaku to put Manchester United in front. 9 minutes gone in the second half. A wonderful ball from wide on the left-hand side, and Lukaku arrives at the near post to volley it home behind Lörsel. United have broken the deadlock, and it's that man, Romelu Lukaku. Manchester United 1, Huddersfield 0.
Well, it's certainly been a stepped up performance from United since the whistle's gone for the second half, and Because Matic's just playing the ball out wide to Mata, and he's delivered it first time. It's a wonderful left-footed cross. He's whipped it in. Lukaku gets across his defender. It's a finish, left-footed, low into the net past Lörsel. That's the kind of delivery he wants into the box to feed off. That's how he'll score goals, and United have broken the deadlock, and you wonder how this is going to pan out now for Huddersfield for the remainder of the game, because that's a wonderful finish and a good goal from United.
4 goals in his last 6 in all competitions for Romelu Lukaku, a 12th Premier League goal of the season. Only his 8th though in 26 games. It's been a bit of a barren run for him, but that is the first time that they've offered him something inside the penalty area today, and he delivers for them. And once again, we talked about using the width. That's the first time they've got into a decent area and put a good ball in.
It was. I was thinking when they were having a lot of the pressure, when you were obviously commentating in that intense few minutes that United have, I was feeling that it would be Luke Shaw or Valencia that would give them that width, because Lingard, Mata, they all come through the middle.
Well, here's McTominay now strolling into the penalty area. Right-hand edge, gives it to Valencia. He'll look to cut towards the byline before trying to deliver a cross, but wasn't well struck. And it's out of play for a throw by the corner flag on that right-hand side. Angola with a block, but all of a sudden Scott McTominay just stepping through the midfield with good effect as well. Valencia, who's captain in this Manchester United side, takes the throw. Mata and Valencia combine on that far side, and Congola will get it away up to Debocha, who's fouled, was he? No, said the referee. Went down. No interest from Stuart Atwell. Rojo into Lukaku. Here is Sanchez in a central position, overhits the pass. I think he was looking for the run of Lukaku, but he was fairly static at the time. And Huddersfield try and shift it out to this near side. Well, Shaw's won the ball, but he hasn't managed to keep hold of it. Tommy Smith comes forward. Hada Janai on this right-hand side. Cuts the ball across. Plenty of room here towards the edge of the penalty area for Quainaru. Just tried to flick it with the outside of his boot to Smith. Couldn't get the opportunity though. They've kept the ball well with Hogg on that left-hand side. Here is Moy for Huddersfield. Midway inside the Manchester United half. Here's Van der Parra. He again just turns and gives it to Moy. And Huddersfield, all the impetus and momentum has gone out of that attack, and in fact they give the ball straight to the feet of Matic, and then to Lingard, and then to Lukaku, and now Mata away down the right hand side, trying to go with some pace here. Juan Mata, provider of the first for United, down that right hand side towards Lukaku. Jorgensen's there and just shepherds the ball out of play, and that will be a goal kick away to our left hand side, and it will be Huddersfield's. 57 minutes played at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Huddersfield 0. Let's go to the Hawthorns. West Brom against Southampton. Michael McCann.
James Ward-Prowse with his white. There's 5 West Brom men in the wall. Ward-Prowse scores! West Brom 1, Southampton 3. James Ward-Prowse with a low skinner and a free kick into the far corner. A goal of the highest quality, as both of Southampton's first 2 were. Makes it West Brom 1, Southampton 3.
Little punch of the air by the man alongside me. And that goal from James Ward-Prowse. I think Jonathan Hogg's about to go in the book here for a foul on Jesse Lingard in the centre circle. Free kick for Manchester United. James Ward-Prowse has got to be in that Southampton side every week, hasn't he, without fail?
He's doing well, and he's adding goals, as we know now, to his game. So yeah, he's a threat from set pieces, but adding goals to his game as a midfielder, which has been a struggle for Southampton this year, is going to help him massively.
Here's a change for Huddersfield, and I think he looked like he had become a little bit of a knock earlier. Chris Schindler, he's going to depart and forced into a second change of the game. Hefele will come on, wearing the number 44. The German enters the fray and immediately goes and stands next to Romelu Lukaku. Yeah, Schindler is limping. As we mentioned at the start today, there'll be bigger games to come for Huddersfield and opportunities to pick up points. They've got an FA Cup replay against Birmingham on Tuesday. The offside flag there is up against Valencia. Then they've got Bournemouth at home next weekend and West Brom away. 2 massive games on the next 2 Premier League Saturdays.
Huge, yeah. You do wonder if I'm not saying they're going to now not try in this game any longer, but at 1-0 there's anything still possible. But from what we've seen so far, they've rarely even got into Manchester United's 18-yard box, certainly in the first half and especially this second. So yeah, it's just that game management now. Try and stay injury free, losing a couple of players already, have to make changes, Wagner, so they won't want to pick up any more injuries with the games coming up. Huge games.
There is a chance on that far side for Smalling to try and get forward. He's fouled. The free kick for United, 10 yards short of halfway. Let's round up the scores elsewhere for you. Bournemouth 0, Stoke City 1. It's Brighton 1, West Ham 1, Leicester 1, Swansea 1, West Brom 1, Southampton 3. Arsenal versus Everton is just over an hour away. Theo Walcott returning to the Emirates after joining Everton, of course. Couple of goals for him in midweek as well. Here on halfway is Lingard for Manchester United. Infield he goes to Matic in the centre circle. Now to that right hand side, McTominay goes direct this time, ball over the top. Pelé has cleared it out as far as Sanchez. Sanchez does well to get in Lingard in the penalty area, but across with a decent challenge. That time came Jorgensen. And now an opportunity for Huddersfield to try and get it away. Quaynard as well, giving it to Hadajanai, and Moy was just dilly-dallying on the ball. Mata took it off his toes, and Lingard and Matic combined nicely. Here is Mata again. Infield they go, inside the centre circle. Applause in the 60th minute here, of course, the 60th anniversary, as we mentioned earlier, of that Munich air disaster. Here comes Sanchez, looking to cut back inside onto his right foot. Decent run on the right hand side by Valencia, chooses not to find him, goes to Matic instead, and now Lukaku with ball at feet. Lukaku with the strength, slips it down that left hand side for Mata. The offside flag is up, and that's going to be a free kick for Huddersfield. 61 minutes played, Manchester United 1, Huddersfield 0. Crucial third goal of the game at the Amex between Brighton and West Ham. Commentary from Barry Sway.
Cross by Gross, eluded everyone. There's Esquerdo, might go for goal. Esquerdo, oh, what a goal! Esquerdo makes it 2-1 to Brighton. He's curled it in from the far side of the penalty area, and it's flew into the top corner, and Brighton and Hove Albion are back in the lead.
2-1, Brighton lead then. Big game for Chris Hughton's side today in terms of that momentum near the bottom, and West Ham just stalling on the ability to win games. Jose Mourinho furious with the time Luke Shaw's taken to come and prepare for a throw-in. Paul Pogba is stripped and ready to come on. I'm going to presume he'll come on for McTominay maybe, unless he does choose to give him a run out a little further forward. McTominay seems to be performing well for Manchester United today.
He's been solid, Adam. Yeah, he took a heavy challenge or two as well in the first half, didn't he? It would have been easy for him to go hiding or even come off. But he wants to stay on the pitch. Interesting to see if it is a straight swap, but yeah, without being too creative, he's been solid. McTominay in there for United today.
Valencia in towards the feet of Lukaku, just a yard or so out with his pass, just allowed Huddersfield a chance to clear. Right-footed Smith's gone long this time. Quaynard on this near side, tried to get the better of Shaw, but United have it with Matic, and at the edge of the edge of the penalty area, should I say, it's Chris Smalling that will bring it clear. Almost 63 minutes played. Manchester United 1, Huddersfield 0. They failed to score in 9 of their previous 21 league visits here. Goals hard to come by at Old Trafford against this Manchester United side, and this could be a 5th game in a row. United are unbeaten here. That would be 4 clean sheets as well, if it stays like it is. Unless Huddersfield can test David De Gea, because as yet they haven't really forced him into making a save. Matic here finds Sanchez. Sanchez, oh, lovely skip over the challenge, then goes down, and the referee quite rightly pulls back that free kick. And it's going to be a yellow card for that challenge, and it's the substitute, Mikael Hefele, who come on, and he goes into the book as well.
It's a wonderful pass from Matic, just simple into Sanchez's feet. He skips past Hefele, it's contact. Referee's right on the spot. It's quite high up his shins, near his knees. Dangerous position for Huddersfield. Looks like it's Lingard making way for Paul Pogba.
Well, in that case, you would assume Pogba's been given that freedom to play a little further forward, where I think most people feel he's probably at his most devastating.
Well, we spoke about his desire to track back and do the workman side of the game, and how that can be a little bit of a liability at times. But if he's going to go and slot in that little hole with Sanchez, Mata either side of him, Pogba up in front, probably most suited to where he wants to play, I would guess.
Quick hi to Robert Gerrard as well. We'll do that in a moment. Ball in this time from Mata, looking for the head of McTominay, who did get there first. Pogba's first touch is to give that back to Valencia, and now here comes Luke Shaw down the left hand side. He finds Mata just off the angle of the box, left footed ball over, head of Lukaku. Lukaku, decent header, way too much on it, and over the top of Ozil's crossbar. Because I was about to say hi to Robert Gerrard. They are driving from Rancho Cucamonga to San Diego for a US Development Soccer Academy game today. Sun shining there as well. Not that I want to make us feel envious or anything.
I know. If you wouldn't mind sending a little bit over for us guys, that would be lovely. But have a great day.
Snow this week coming. I know. It's away by Lersul from the goal kick. 12 attempts at goal for United so far. 5 of them on target. Nothing to show yet for Huddersfield in terms of working David De Gea. 65 minutes play. 1-0 to Man United. Headed away by Rojo. Moy does well to pick up that loose ball. Finds Van der Padde. Now out wide on his right hand side. Padde Janai to the byline. Gets his crossover and it's just flicked clear by Rojo, and Mata, who seems to be everywhere, is at the edge of the penalty area and he gets it away to Sanchez. Sanchez up to halfway, gets a ball into Lukaku. Takes it in his stride on the run. Cross comes Jorgensen. Does really well. Strong enough to hold off Lukaku. And the ball is in the arms of Lerzel away to our left hand side.
It's good defending, but Lukaku needs to do better there. You know, it's the one time he had some time and space to get by him. Just a poor touch. Not really good enough from Lukaku there. But you mentioned him there just a moment in the build-up. Mata's having an outstanding game. He's absolutely all over the place. He's getting on the ball all the time.
He's all over the place in a nice way.
In a nice way. In a very nice way. He's just every area of the pitch. He was back defending as well, picking up the ball. Great to see him when he's in this kind of form. But United are just completely dominating this football match. It's so one-sided. It's almost embarrassing.
Here is Matic. Still only 1-0 though. Anything can happen. Pogba on this near side to Rojo. One dodgy challenge away from 1-1. One poor refereeing decision away. Lovely ball from Pogba over the top of Mata. Want to take down at the edge of the box. What can he do with it? Tries to get it to Sanchez, who goes down. Penalty this time. Sanchez is fouled. Edge of the box. Goes over. It's a penalty kick. Hefele with the challenge again. He's just been booked already for one challenge on Sanchez. And now a spot kick, which Alexis Sanchez has picked the ball up for. And he is going to take for Manchester United.
Well, a goal on his debut would be a great way to start, wouldn't it? He's looked bright in sections of the game, but I'll just come back to Juan Mata again. It was a wonderful touch from the long ball forward. Again, Sanchez just gets his foot there ahead of Hefele, and as soon as there's that contact, he's gone to the ground. Referee, decent position, had no hesitation in giving the penalty and pointed to the spot.
A chance to cap your home debut in style. Your first appearance in a Manchester United shirt at Old Trafford. Alexis Sanchez from the penalty spot. Oh, it's safe, but he pops in the rebound. It's a second attempt goal for Sanchez, but his Manchester United goal-scoring career is off and running. Sanchez beats Lerzel with a rebound, and it's Manchester United 2, Huddersfield 0, and Sanchez has liftoff.
Well, Lersel's absolutely distraught. He saved the initial strike from Sanchez. He strode up, struck it right footed. He gets his right hand to it, but the ball bounces straight back to Sanchez on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's there to tuck it away, side foot, left foot, jogs off to the corner to celebrate his first goal.
Well, I can guarantee you probably Lukaku's not happy. He's no longer the penalty taker for Manchester United. That's for sure.
There's a lot of players that could step up for it. You know, like goal scorers, you know, as you say, Lukaku, Sanchez. You know, there's Pogba, you know, would he want to get involved in all that? There's players that would willingly step up, but
I'm telling you now, if Zlatan's on that pitch, I would like to see the argument between Sanchez and Ibrahimovic as to who's taking the penalty.
I think I might know who might come out on top of that one.
Yeah. 2-0 then to Manchester United. Alexis Sanchez with 22 minutes of the game remaining. Surely wraps up the points now for Manchester United. Here is Mata just giving that ball short. I think Mata's been the star of the show today. Make no bones about it. I think Sanchez has been fairly impressive in parts. We have seen a bit of diving and maybe not some fantastic distribution. They've made a change here as well, Huddersfield. Tom Ince has come on to join the fray for Huddersfield as well. And in all the excitement of that penalty, we'll confirm in a moment who he's come on to replace. And I suspect it may well be Cranar, but we will get confirmation of that in a moment. You can tell he's on because he's got his gloves on. Up to halfway come Manchester United again. Let's head to the Vitality. We've got a quick goal there, unless of course Sanchez keeps that ball in, which he does, but it actually has gone out for Huddersfield throw. Let's get to the vitality and Andrew Self.
It's given away by Stoke City. Gosling can't control. Real chance here for a goal. It's into the back of the net after a mistake by Stoke inside their 18-yard box. The goal scorer's King.
Josh King with a goal. And Juan Mata to a standing ovation, and no surprise, is being substituted here with 20 minutes remaining. It's a terrific performance from Juan Mata. It was Rajiv van der Power that's been replaced by Tom Ince for Huddersfield, and it'll be Marcus Rashford who comes on now to replace Juan Mata. But a superb performance from Juan Mata today.
Outstanding. He was at the centre of all United's threats. Comfortable in possession, looked dangerous, and his delivery for the first goal for Lukaku was absolutely outstanding, and he was key in winning the penalty for Sanchez as well. Absolutely fantastic performance from him today.
20 minutes to go. Can Huddersfield find something? A goal would be probably the best they can hope for, but maybe I'll just give them a little bit of a fillip. As I mentioned, 9 times on the road this season they haven't scored. Valencia on that far side with the throw, 10 yards inside the Huddersfield half. They're short to Matic. And here is Pogba, on as a second half sub. Rojo out to the right hand side where Matic is waiting. He goes square again. Picks out Rojo once more, who's had a very quiet afternoon really. Here is Sanchez. Running with the ball at feet. Oh, he just skips away. His strength to hold off challenges. McTominay then shifts it to the right. Valencia's there. Valencia looks up, finds Lukaku, who puts it over from around about 10 yards out.
It's a decent chance, isn't it? Lukaku's just maybe gesturing that one of his teammates possibly got in his way slightly. I think it was Sanchez ran across him a little bit, which seemed to distract his attention, but it was a good ball into the box. You'd like to think he would have got more of a contact on it and certainly hit the target, at least made Lörsel make a save.
Let's remind you of the scores elsewhere. Bournemouth 1, Stoke City 1, Brighton 2, West Ham 1, Leicester 1, Swansea 1, West Brom 1, Southampton 3, as things stand. Brighton and Southampton will be the big winners of the day if things stay as they are in their final 20 minutes or so of this afternoon's Premier League action. So tight at the bottom of the table, any 3 points can just give you a massive lift. Here's Pogba on his way, edge of the penalty area, he tries to bend one rather ambitiously, was well wide, but when you've not scored since November, you fancy your chances a little bit.
He stumbled his way through a few challenges there, didn't he? But it sort of opened up nicely. It was on his right foot, and he just tried wrapping his foot round it to shoot into the far side net of Lörssel's goal, but it was well wide. Not really too confident a shot, as you say, was it, Matt? Not quite like coming from a goal scorer in red hot form.
No. If things stay as they are, Huddersfield will drop down to 19th, the lowest position of the season in the table. That's if things stay as they are. There's been a 5th goal in the game at the Hawthorns between West Brom and Southampton. Michael McCann has the commentary.
Finds Brunt down the left. Brunt with another chance to cross. Does so. It's a good one. Flicked on. Hits the post and in. Solomon Rondon has scored. Southampton's lead is halved. It's West Brom 2, Southampton 3. It's a 4th Premier League goal of the season from Rondon.
And it's game on for the last quarter of an hour at the Hawthorns then. Franny's sweating, no surprise. We're going to see Anthony Martial in a moment. I presume it will be for Alexis Sanchez. As United punt the ball, they'll try and deal with the ball that's been punted to them by Matic here at the edge of the penalty area. His clearance is blocked out, volleyed away by Marcus Rojo, who's been real no-nonsense today for Manchester United. Lukaku tries to win that ball, but it comes off his head, but Hefele has the final touch, and now Sanchez with ball at feet on a run. Moyes round him, takes him down. It's a kick out at Sanchez. What I will say, although he's gone over a couple of times quite softly, he has been kicked black and blue today, Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, and what is impressive from Sanchez is that he's still prepared to get on the ball, take those kicks, and a player of Sanchez's stature, he's not going to go around tackling players and winning the ball back. He's got other members of the team to do that. Where he shows his bravery and where he's got to step up is by getting on the ball constantly, time and time again, and he's done that today very well, as you say.
Rashford trying to do some running here down that right-hand side, and Lörsel has to clear from inside his own 6-yard box. Here's Valencia. Getting it back towards Matic. Matic into the feet of Sanchez, 30 yards from goal. His through ball smacks Moy in the face, and cannons away to Luke Shaw on his left-hand side. Shaw to Matic. Matic down the line to Pogba. Out wide is Sanchez. Lovely ball from Pogba to Sanchez. Cuts onto his right foot here. Does he know? He gives it to Pogba. Pogba pulls it back towards Rashford, and it's blocked out by Hefele, and then away on this near side by Cranar. And Rashford just as physical with him and does enough to win his side the throw on this near side.
Just as well, Hefele positioned himself well there from the cross, otherwise it would have gone straight through to Rashford. Would have been 6-7 yards out with a simple goal at his mercy. So it's good defending, well positioned. But United again just playing in that comfort zone, comfortably in control of this game now at 2-0.
As things stand in the bottom half of the table, there are 3 points separating 9 teams. Bearing in mind that obviously Newcastle and Palace and Watford have still to play this weekend.
You can see it being so close, Adam. You can see it almost going last day of the season, can't you?
Well, it's one win. I mean, we know earlier on when West Brom were in front, second bottom for Southampton. As things stand, they'll be up to 14th in the table. It's that close and that tight. Here is Pogba, infield to Sanchez. Sanchez to Rashford. Rashford at the edge of the penalty area, thinks about shooting. Gives it to Sanchez, who shifts play off his toes really neatly out to the right-hand side where Valencia waits at the edge of the penalty area. Valencia then just plays a game with Congolo here about where he's going to go, and in the end he gets it to Sanchez, and Moy is there too, and it's a corner on the right-hand side for Manchester United. We'll be going to the Amex in a moment, where there has been a fourth goal in the game between Brighton and West Ham. I think we're going to have a substitution here first. So let's get that goal quickly with Barry Sway.
Plays it inside towards Collins. Collins under pressure, clears it, but only as far as Proper. Proper through the middle towards Gross. Makes half a yard and scores an absolutely brilliant goal. And Gross finishes it off for Brighton Hove Albion. They crashed in 3 against West Ham at the London Stadium, and have done it again this afternoon.
West Ham having the double done over them by Brighton and Hove Albion. Martial's coming on. I mean, this is interesting as well. There's some interesting substitutions here by Mourinho, because not only has he popped Pogba on in an advanced position, I'm going to assume now that Sanchez may well go up front and Martial going to a wide position. We'll see, because at the moment Sanchez is taking the corner and it's towards Pogba, and it cannons off that rather interesting hairstyle that Pogba is currently sporting, with a bit of red in, I think, alongside that strip of hair that he possesses. Moy gets it away. Here is Depotre, who I'm surprised is still out there, because, well, how he's going to run for the whole 90 minutes, I'm not sure.
Looks pretty demoralised, doesn't he? Especially after he played the ball straight out of play there, trying to find Tom Ince on the left-hand side. Just again conceding possession to Manchester United. You get a feel that it's going to be a fair while before they get any decent possession back again, Huddersfield.
Here's Matic, who's to halfway. McTominay's there, now Pogba with some room to run into here. Paul Pogba just steps away from Hannah Janai. Martial at the edge of the penalty area, so good at scoring when coming off the bench, Martial. Not so good with the pass there though to McTominay. Wide on that right hand side. Cutting in field now is Valencia. Valencia then just goes to the other side of his challenger, McTominay, into Rashford, 25 yards from goal. Here's Valencia, down the right, cuts it back towards Martial. Hefele with the header away, and Moy now will look to get it clear on the far side. It's off of Rashford and into touch for a throw. Goal at the Vitality, Andrew Self.
Who's to take? It's going to be Ibe to take it away from goal. Deep one right across the back. Chance of a goal. It is a goal, and it's put in by Moussa, who climbs highest at the back post, heads it into the ground. Bournemouth from a goal down, and now 2 goals to 1 up here after 79 minutes.
Great turnaround from Eddie Howe's side. Could be 6 points in a week for Bournemouth. Absolutely huge for them. In terms of, it would lift them up to 29 points, that victory. And all of a sudden, a sniff of safety coming Bournemouth's way. Here is Pogba. In fact, I think it may well lift them up to 31 points. I know it will pain you to hear that they're doing so well.
I'd like to see the flag flying on the south coast, but
if it was Portsmouth, then maybe that would be a different kettle of fish.
It would be a very different story, yeah. But you know, but having said that, I'd still like to see the red and white of Southampton sort of top of the pile of the south coast sides. That's for sure.
The courtesy doesn't extend that far, though. Foul here by Jorgensen on Sanchez, who's just given a couple of extra rolls that probably just weren't very necessary, but
you get a feel he's certainly going to have a few bruises, Adam, don't you?
I think he's almost a wholehearted display for his new home fans today, just in essence to show that actually I will work and work and work, and he has worked hard.
Yeah.
I mean, Mata, I think, still gets the nod in terms of the man of the match, but Sanchez has really put some work in, and he's on the ball again now, trying to play a 1-2 there with Pogba, but Moy gets it away for Huddersfield. Last 10 minutes of the game, Manchester United leading 2-0. Long ball forward that time by Huddersfield, taken on the run by Ince towards the edge of the penalty area, but then lost control, and here's McTominay, and now an opportunity for United to counter down the right-hand side. Rashford's got it. Tries to ping a ball across to the left-hand side towards Martial, but the radar was off for Rashford, and it's out for a goal kick to Huddersfield Town.
You're right, when United made that substitution, Adam, Lukaku coming off, it is Sanchez who's up there. He's got Martial on the left-hand side. Pogba's floating around, just picking up little bits and pieces where he can, but the number 7's playing in that more adapt forward role for the side at the moment.
But you kind of feel that he has to. I mean, he's admitted the title's gone, so objective 1 for United is to finish second this year, isn't it? That's objective number 1. Maybe with the FA Cup to win a trophy, potentially. I don't think, although he is described as being the special one, even he thinks he's probably got a squad that can win the Champions League. So if he could pick up the FA Cup and finish second, then it's about planning for next season, isn't it, really?
Most definitely, yeah. That would be a good outcome, I'd say, because let's be honest, City are just head and shoulders above anything else this season. Putting a trophy on the mantelpiece and finishing second, and very much working towards, as he's hinted at this week, next season.
Find your best 11.
Yeah.
How do you get the best out of what you've got here? Surely he's not going to go massively buying again. He's already spent, I think it works out at about 319 million and recouped about 60.
Defensively, though, still got to look at them as a side overall.
Well, here's a chance now for Huddersfield down that left-hand side. Decent ball in from Congolo that time. Comes out to Hogg. Hogg then pushes it forward, and Grainar should have been offside. No flag. And in the end, they get the ball away here with Pogba. Up towards halfway, and Sanchez, and Martial's coming, and Pogba's there too in the pass from Sanchez. Just had half a yard too much on it. And now an opportunity for Hogg again. So as Huddersfield come forward, it's you attack, we attack football in the closing stages here. 7.5 minutes remaining. Manchester United leading 2-0. As he tried to get that one back, It was coming out inside that penalty area, and Luke Shaw's there, and there's some weary legs out there as Pogba volleys it clear. As far as Sanchez, Matic to Pogba on this left-hand side. It's very casual from Manchester United as Pogba lifts the ball forward, and the chase is on now for Rashford down this left-hand side. Rashford gets there ahead of FLA, who had to be careful because he's already been booked, of course. There's Martial, who's crunched with a challenge by Hogg, and in the end it's Lursel who gets it away to our left-hand side.
There was just an incident there, Adam, that typifies the difference between Pogba and Sanchez going back towards their own goal. Sanchez has been on the pitch since the start of the game. Pogba's come on as a substitute. Pogba was just jogging back, just ticking over, almost thinking, well, come on guys, one of you win the ball back and give it to me please. Sanchez was the one that was sprinting back, trying his best to get the ball back.
Well, it sounds fairly standard from what we see from Pogba. Matic just trying to make his mind up, goes back towards the edge of his own penalty area, and Smalling has it. 6.5 minutes to go here. It's 2-0 to Manchester United. Just keeping possession at the edge of their own penalty area. Matic has it once more. Here's Valencia on the right hand side, midway inside his own half. It's been closed down by Tom Ince, but he's still got the time to find Matic, who's got acres of room to run into. He floats the ball out to this near touchline. Lovely takedown by Rashford this time. Rashford's appeared more than anyone else in Manchester United colours so far this season, but out of touch, particularly when it comes to goals so far at the moment. Marcus Rashford has won in his last 15 in the Premier League, 3 and 22 in all competitions, and His 37th appearance in all competitions, predominantly in the latter stages, coming off the bench. And as Mourinho strengthened his hand elsewhere, and as the likes of Martial and Lingard have delivered goals, it seems like Rashford's gone a little further down the pecking order. Playing on this near side to Moy. Huddersfield. Beaten to the ball by Matic, who just shepherds it out of play and brilliantly wins his side the throw. 5 minutes to go, 2-0 to Manchester United.
So strong, composed from Matic, just worked his way into the game. It was a little bit quiet in the first half, but as United got that foothold after scoring, he's just been spraying passes around, strong defensively when he's had to be.
There they are again. This time they got themselves a goal kick. Manchester United. Luke Shaw defending well. Tom Ince was the player on the attack for Huddersfield. And it's a goal kick for United. Chance to clear their lines.
Huddersfield, I think, in these circumstances, almost haven't got to be too despondent. I think they'll be disappointed not to get something from today, but they wouldn't have come in with any real high expectations. As we said before the game, their big matches, their cup finals against teams in and around them, and anything today would have been a bonus. But this has been a hard game for them today, especially once United took the lead. You could just see the heads go a little bit. They've still got a responsibility to sort of try their best out there, but it makes a tough mountain to climb, just all of a sudden turn into an Everest for them.
Absolutely teeming down here at Old Trafford. 4 minutes to go, and the referee is having a word here. I'm just going to check who he's giving his instructions to. Luke Shaw's going to take the throw. I think one of them's had another nibble at Alexis Sanchez after a ball had gone. Can't help but think he'll have plenty of bruises today, and in a week where Pep Guardiola has talked about looking after these star players a little more, there's been nothing kind of leg breaky on Sanchez today, but certainly very much he's taken a lot of kicking from this Huddersfield side. Here's Moy, gets it in. Depocha tries to get there, but it's into the arms of David. Has he actually touched the ball in open play in this second half until now? I'm not sure he has handled it, has he?
He received the ball and played it out of play, didn't he, at one point when he looked pretty despondent. But that was a decent ball into the box from Moy. It's the sort of balls into the box Depocha would want from his teammates, but like I say, I think he's just been out of the game, not involved in it in a possession sense whatsoever, and he's just been trying to do his bit defensively for the team, which he looks very leggy now.
Here is Rashford away down this left-hand side, on the run, edge of the penalty area. Rashford sips it through. Martial, here's a chance for Sanchez for his second of the game. Tries to turn and get beyond Moy. He's just gone out too wide now, and he needs some support. He's got Moy there with him, and just for a moment he almost couldn't decide what to do. And Martial, very unselfish when he could have had a shot, but he tried to set Alexis Sanchez up.
Yeah, it was good play from United, and Martial almost just trying to set Sanchez up for that second goal of his, but it was just almost like trying to walk it in a little bit too casually, I think, as a team there.
Reminder, Mancity drew 1-1 with Burnley earlier today, so it does mean the gap will be down to 13 points with this victory for Manchester United, who will have opened up a 6-point gap over Liverpool and Chelsea, of course, who've yet to play this weekend. Here is Rashford down this left-hand side, ball at feet, chooses to go back to Pogba. Still running is Florent Huddersfield, who's certainly put a shift in for Huddersfield today. Out wide on that right-hand side is Valencia. 90 seconds plus added time remaining. 2-0 to Manchester United. Here is Martial. I'll run you through the scores elsewhere. Pogba and he just exchange passes, and then Pogba tries to find him with a slide rule ball into the penalty area, but it was intercepted, and it's out on this near side, and it's going to be a throw-in on the left for Manchester United. Elsewhere, Bournemouth lead Stoke 2-1. It's Brighton 3, West Ham 1. You would think Brighton are having all 3 points there. Leicester 1, Swansea 1, and West Brom 2, Southampton 3. That's the game where there could be a grandstand finish today. Here down the right-hand side is Valencia. Valencia clips it over, and Mercer will come to the edge of his 6-yard box and collect. And we may have to put Fanny Bonani through the pain of the closing stages of West Brom Southampton when we finish here today. 2-0 to Manchester United. We're into the final minute.
Just what typified United's confidence in this game. Matic picked up the ball literally right in front of his dugout, and he's sprayed a left-footed pass literally the width of the pitch out to Valencia. It was a fantastic ball, just showing his range of passing.
United is when they get in front, they tend to win. They've won all 15 of their Premier League games prior to today when they get in front. And they've kept clean sheets so well, 6 in their last 7 games. Looks like it's about to become 7 in 8 today. And, well, we say about the poor defence, but when you're keeping that many clean sheets, they're 15 for the season today.
The thing for United that the question mark over them, Adam, is their ability to come back after going a goal down, isn't it? Yes, when they take that lead, they're formidable. They can keep clean sheets, as we know, but it's when the opposition score first, how can they then bounce back, which hasn't been great under Mourinho.
3 minutes of added time, and we're into it. De Gea with the clearance. Header by Matic. McTominay takes it down at the edge of the centre circle. Another positive today for Jose Mourinho. Admittedly not the most challenging of midfields to face for Scott McTominay, but he's performed well. Throw in for United again on this near side, just over halfway.
Would have been easy to have changed him, wouldn't he? Mourinho to have taken McTominay off, given the talent he's got on the bench, but he's obviously decided to give him a full 90 minutes. He's done well in there, it's been solid.
On this right-hand side, Adeyemi just slips, gives the ball to Matic. Matic to Sanchez at the edge of the penalty area. Tried to get through, did Sanchez, and then commits a foul. Gives away a free kick. And it will be Huddersfield's chance to clear their lines this time with Kongolo. So the big game's coming up, as we mentioned, for Huddersfield then. Of course, they've got that Tuesday night FA Cup replay against Birmingham City. You've had a good win at Sheffield Wednesday today. Bournemouth and West Brom. And then you've got Tottenham, but then you've got Swansea and Palace and Newcastle. So the games coming up are absolutely crucial for David Wagner and his chances of surviving in the Premier League with Huddersfield. Manchester United have got a decent run of fixtures coming up as well. Obviously Sevilla home and away to come in the Champions League. Here's Moy, chance to shoot from 25 yards. Instead he slips in Kongolo on that near side, and it's played out by Valencia off of Kongolo and into touch for a goal kick. Newcastle away coming up next for Jose Mourinho's side. Of course they will take on in the FA Cup the winner of the game between Birmingham City and Huddersfield. Then they've got Sevilla away, Chelsea at home, Palace away, Liverpool at home. A tough run of fixtures, but the home game's key there. Home matches against Liverpool and Chelsea, which is where perhaps we'll see the real Manchester United when at home against those big fellow top 6 sides.
Yeah, interesting fixtures, aren't they? And time will tell how teams go about it. One, how Huddersfield deal when they're running, but how brave and how adventurous United are going to be in those fixtures that they've got.
If they want to get close to Man City, they can no longer just play for draws in those games, you think?
No, well, exactly. I'm very much in the camp that the campaign's over. It's too big a gap to pull back for them now. So, as we touched on already, it's that thinking: can they put a bit of silverware on the table in the cup and finish second?
On that far side, Smalling's there. That surely is going to be the last action of the game. We've had our 3 minutes that were added on by Stuart Atwell. As I mentioned, we'll be taking you to the Hawthorns for the closing stages of the game between West Bromwich Albion and Southampton. It's 2-0 here then to Manchester United. Let's get across to the Hawthorns then. West Brom 2, Southampton 3. Michael McCann's your commentator.
13. The victory here. Ball forward, scrappy. Southampton trying to release James Ward-Prowse. Ends up at the feet of Ben Foster. Foster bowls it out to James McLean. McLean under pressure. No foul given, and it's a 4-on-4. If Southampton can go quickly, they can finally kill this game off. Here's Mario Lemina on the edge of the area. The away fans baying for blood behind the goal. Long squares it across to Romeu. He can't finish it. Good block from Higazi. It's back for Redmond. Good save from Ben Foster to his left to keep it at 3-2 to Southampton. Ahmed Higazi is down with cramp. We're into the 96th minute. The whistles are growing from the Southampton fans, but there was an injury delay due to Mario Lemina going down. Alan Pardew looking incredibly nervous and worried man on the touchline, and well he might be. He knows they've got to get something from games like this. even without the key centre-half, Johnny Evans. Of course, could go for just £3 million if they're relegated, and signed for £8 million from Man U a few years ago, and subject to plenty of speculation of moves to various clubs such as Arsenal and Leicester. Southampton with it on the edge of the box, taking it towards the corner flag now with James Ward-Prowse to try and finish this one off. They dominated the game at Brighton in the week, had 2/3 of the possession and were the better side. Today, I'll probably be slightly fortuitous to come away with 3 points, but I'm sure they won't care how. And the full-time whistle has gone. Just as we tick into the 97th minute, Southampton are unbeaten in 6 games across all competitions, and they've got their first Premier League win in 13 games.
Huge victory then for Southampton at the Hawthorns. It does leave West Brom 4 points adrift at the foot of the table. Franny Benali's been alongside me here. Just above them in the table are Huddersfield, who we've just watched succumb to a 2-0 defeat against Manchester United. You're very happy about that victory, obviously, for Southampton, and it does lift them a little. As I've said, it's so tight. One win can catapult you 4 or 5 places in the table.
That's all it takes, Adam. And then, you know, a run of results either way, a couple of victories or a couple of defeats, it's so tight down there. Anyone from sort of, you know, 10th, 9th, you just don't know how. And there's always someone at the end of the season, isn't there, that just can't pick up a result for love nor money, and you know, and they just seem to be dropping like a stone.
Hello,
so
Watford.
close.
Hello, Watford. As a player and a manager, are you looking at the league position, or all you bothered about is your points tally? Is that the only thing you're thinking about? Or do you go, actually, look, we've won today, lads, we've gone up 5 places, this is excellent? Or do you just think that's another 3 points towards our total, towards our target?
I would have looked at the table. Yeah, just studied that weekly, you know, did it myself as a player. You know, you look at it, you don't like to get too absorbed in it or influenced by it, because, you know, you just, it's a cliche, but you can only approach it that one, what's the next match in front of you? And you just hope that you can just grind something out, even if it's a draw, just get a point somewhere. But as we've touched on already, you know, for Huddersfield here today, you've got to try and win those games in and against the teams that are around you down the bottom.
Tough few weeks for them. Pleasure as ever. Thanks for your company today, Franny Benali, alongside at Old Trafford then, where we've seen Alexis Sanchez make his home debut for Manchester United. He scores as well. They've closed the gap to 13 on Manchester City, but Huddersfield are into the bottom 3. Thanks for your company this afternoon. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal!